Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota, and today got weird. Very, very weird at the end of the day. So I guess at some point we'll talk a little bit about that, although I think the story might bore you. That is not the focus of today's show and is very, very new and strange. We've got a new week, as always. Monday is a curse for many people, a pox upon society. I know, but for me, Mondays are always Mondays are always an opportunity to do the show, get the show going on a new week, and you know, that's something interesting, I guess. And today, that week starts off with some Ronspergations is what I'm going to call them, because they're not really Ronversations. It's not the same thing. I do not have a bunch of DMs with Ron. If I did, there would be, you know, a whole show on it. So I don't. I hope that the change was enough to maybe not have people get their hopes up about a full show of Ronversations, because that just is not going to happen unless there's a reason to do it. Although I will say that I do owe a walkthrough of one of Ron's other interviews, and I have not gotten around to doing it. So that's somewhere on the back burner. Oh my goodness. Oh hey, what's up, Tidebeard? How's it going? But anyway, so Ron tweeted to me today, and I think it was today, maybe it was yesterday and I saw it today. It doesn't really matter, does it? And it kind of there were some things that I needed to clear up, because I don't know how. All right? I don't know how. I have told these stories in public forever, and because there's nothing secret about any of it, right? I think there's an interesting thing on the internet. Maybe you guys can help me with this. I think there's an interesting artifact on the internet, and that is that people forget that this internet stuff is a show. That doesn't mean it's not true. That doesn't mean it's not real. That doesn't mean there's not real stories or real people. Obviously, all of that exists. But it is a show. And it is meant to be, or should be, entertaining. Because what the hell else are you here for other than to be entertained? That should always be your primary goal. The secondary goal should be picking up some information or learning something or whatever. But entertainment, you're consuming an entertainment product. All right. With that, there are various things that go into storytelling. There are things that go into storytelling. There are techniques that go into storytelling. And these come out in different ways in different mediums. But there is a bit of drama and dramatic tension that goes into something like the Vikmanana case and talking about it online. Now, some of it is natural. There's a natural buildup of dramatic tension as you wait for documents to come out, as you wait for things to happen in a case, especially in the world of law. Things can take a really long time. So there's a natural dramatic tension that's building up. And we know this, of course, because we're in the midst of some right now. We're getting closer and closer to September 22nd. And once, like, the drama is building a little bit in the background leading up to that, but starting on September 22nd, it will be a waiting game. And that will be a dramatic period of time. And I fully expect Ron to buy a Corvette and get a teenager pregnant or something, because I just don't know where his mental breaks can go from where they already are. They've got to go somewhere. So, but anyway, a lot of it is natural. A lot of it is natural. Some of it is, you know, at the hands of the creator, the entertainer. And so, as things come out, sometimes there are pauses in information, or sometimes things are released over multiple days. And that is kind of at the discretion of the storyteller. And it's not always because you want to do it. Sometimes you just have a bunch of stuff that comes in at once. And you got to pick what goes in what order. So I have been telling this story about the Vikmanana lawsuit for now 18 months. And if you're tired of it, I know. So am I in a lot of ways. It's a long time to be carrying on the same story, and we're in a really slow period of it right now. So that being said, it's not just you who's kind of tired of the story, and that's why I try to keep Vic stuff to a minimum. Although over the past week, we had the 1-year anniversary of the hearing, and then I had Ty Beard on, as he wasn't able to be on during the actual 1-year anniversary. I had him on because Ron disclosed conversations that are supposed to be confidential, and he likely waived privilege. And what's funny is today you can find a bunch of law Twitter people pretending like waiving privilege doesn't ever matter, and that, oh, well, he's just blah, blah, blah. And it's the extent of the privilege waiver probably isn't even known by most people yet. And that's another dramatic tension that'll build up. But that'll only really matter, like tangibly matter, if the case comes back on appeals. Okay? If it comes back on appeals, then the breach of privilege matters, because then privileged information can actually be sought by the other party and admissible because a party gave it up. If that happens, I think people will be surprised at just how much of a privilege was breached. But maybe not. I don't know. But we'll see. Or we won't. So anyway, there were reasons for the Vic shows last week. And Ron has interacted with me specifically, but publicly on Twitter in a way that I want to address. That's why I'm briefly talking about it now, as we wait for people to come in. And then we'll get into that, of course, in just a minute in full. And then we'll address some of the stupidity that surrounded that tweet as well, or that Twitter interaction as well. But the reason I'm talking about this is because these things come out over a long period of time, and the story sometimes has parts that are stated in different areas, and people might miss it. However, I find it interesting that Ron is suggesting that he would miss anything because he apparently is paying someone. Goodness, my nose is got like a little fuzzy somewhere. It's probably like a whole animal because of my nose's volume. I'm able to sniff in large amounts of biological material. Anyway, Ron is allegedly having someone record and transcribe all of my shows. So he should know these details. He actually should know these details, but he's got them wrong. And of course, the low orbit that is Law Twitter, or I shouldn't even blame all of Law Twitter right now, because most of Law Twitter should probably be embarrassed for the rest of them. They seem to have missed several facts on the timeline as well. So I'm going to address those a little bit. That's the arguing with idiots sort of section of this. Then we're going to move to that shooting in Pennsylvania, which, you know, is kind of a hot button topic right now. I will try and grab the video. We'll watch the video. And then we'll, you know, we'll talk about whatever else. I don't know how long the show's going to go today. Full disclosure, I have spent most of the day driving my kids around and dealing with stuff with them. school is started up and we homeschool, but that means that activities have started up. And today and tomorrow were really, really busy days for me and Lady Rackets. And in fact, I've barely even seen Lady Rackets for more than about an hour a day in the past several days, because we're just trying to get everything ready. And of course, all the other stuff that I'm not going to revisit about my house. So I don't know how long the show is going to end up going today. It may end up being short because I haven't prepared a whole bunch of material. But I have a couple things. That's the probably more. I have a couple things to talk about for fun. And of course, we now have a new topic, and that is deplatforming is back on the menu. Deplatforming is always back on the menu. But some of you may be familiar with an interaction I just had around that deplatforming, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right. And yes, for all of you who are here just for that piece of drama, I will bore you with it in just a minute. And then you can either hang around, which may hang around and have a fun time, or you can leave and that'll be fine. But I don't want to waste your time. Oh, I do have to say something. Felipe Mouve, you sent me, I believe, a bottle of whiskey. And there was some weird delivery stuff that happened, but I wanted to let you know that I have gotten it. I have gotten it today. It is upstairs. I forgot to grab it, but I have gotten it. It is here in my house. So I will be opening that, I don't know, I guess tomorrow. And let's see. I think my Streamlabs thing is broken right now. So I'll have to monitor it on a separate thing, and that's okay. I don't know why I'm talking out loud about that, but I am. All right. So, let me tell you the story. Let me tell you the story of this Ethan Ralph drama. I guess I could pull this up. On the Twitter. Pull this up on the Twitter and we'll go here just a second. Oh yeah, a couple other things to go with this as we get into it. Here. Okay. Oh, goodness, I have that way off of there. One thing I want to mention, I just noticed it as I was opening my Twitter. If you remember on Friday, I did 2 live streams, and the first one was with Chuck Dixon and Brett Smith talking about their new book that was coming out, but we also talked about a bunch of other things. The clips for that video I'm actually uploading to my media channel because they're not really in the same flavor of the law topics we tend to talk about. So they are going on the media channel, and I wanted to let you know about that because 1, go watch the clips if you want to. 2, there's going to be a lot more uploaded on my media channel very soon. That'll be not just clips, but, you know, fresh content and stuff on there. So if you're not subscribed to the Rekieta media channel, go check it out. It will not be law-themed stuff, but it will be there will be commentary stuff as well as reviews that I've been doing for like nerd stuff. I'm going to do a boomer review of the Surface headphones and the Surface Duo at some point. But there's also going to be like social commentary as well that's just not legally focused. All right, so you can check that out. If you want to check out the video that was uploaded today, go ahead. There should be 2 more popping up there over today and tomorrow. But yeah, that was a great conversation, and that again is completely unrelated to legal stuff, but very, very related to where culture is going, where escapism is, creativity, storytelling, all of that stuff. All right. Here is the interaction that happened with between me and Ethan Ralph that everybody wants me to comment on, so I will comment on it and I will leave it at that. Ralph has said that he would like to talk about it in private, and that's where I'll do any further talking with him about it, but I want to make sure everybody gets my side of the story, or whatever you're after, you know, because this exists. Oh my goodness. It seems like the YouTube studio is also glitching out, so that's great. Okay, so if you don't know, Ralph had Richard Spencer on tonight. And I saw this tweet from Ralph about, lol, I wonder what WooCommerce is going to do when they find out you're using their tech to sell Kiwi Farms merchandise. And he's tagged, he's got a quote tweet of Josh from Kiwi Farms. Okay. So I responded, man, you're on right now talking about people trying to deplatform you, because he has Richard Spencer on, and there's this dweeby little sack of garbage named Jared Holt who runs around trying to deplatform people with articles and a bunch of money from interested parties. And he just wages war on alt-right or whatever. So he's been after Ethan Ralph for a long time. He's targeted guys like Andy Worski before. He's just a sniveling little turd. And Ralph is talking about that in his tweets and on the show. And so I took the opportunity to say, man, you're on right now talking about people trying to deplatform you. Jared Holt is a bitch. Don't be like that, because Jared Holt is a bitch. And deplatforming, fuck's sake, is just a bitch move, and there's nothing else to it. And I don't know who all, like, I don't have a catalog of all the people who have ever tried to deplatform everyone. So I can't go around and call out every single person. And sometimes they happen and I miss them. But you know what? Don't try to deplatform people. And here's the really hard part of this. And trust me, this is the really hard part of this. And yes, I saw Matt Jarbo in the chat. And I think maybe Matt has learned this lesson. I don't know if he has or not. But oddly enough, this is cyclical kill stream drama. But don't even try to deplatform people who have tried to deplatform you. Because fighting deplatforming with more deplatforming is still bullshit. All right? It is still bullshit. You don't need to do it. It's not a win. Just today I saw a weird little video from Keemstar where he's telling Ethan Klein that they need to bury the hatchet because they're both losing in this. That's what deplatforming does. It's just a downward spiral of degenerating bullshit. And people have to stop. Just don't watch. That's it. Don't watch, don't buy it, whatever. Let people end up deplatforming themselves out of economic opportunity or whatever. That's what really needs to happen. But if other people are enjoying the show for whatever reason, let them enjoy the show or the thing or the product. Like, we don't have to deplatform shit. And for all my talk about like cuties, for example, I don't think it should be deplatformed. I think Netflix shouldn't do it. And I think the people who made it shouldn't make it. And I think maybe they should walk off of a Minecraft ravine or whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and like petition Netflix to remove it. And I think a lot of people did what is reasonable. They just went and they canceled their Netflix subscription, and Netflix lost $9 billion in like a day over this. And that's my answer for all of this. That's it. You just don't need to, don't deplatform. And again, as someone who has had a few people try to deplatform me, at least, you don't go back and attack them in the same way. I just don't believe in that personally. So when one of my friends does it, you know, I will politely say, hey man, don't be like that. And I have told that to people in the past. I've told it to Doug TeNapel, told it to Ethan Van Sciver. I've said, you know, this type of shit hurts channels. It hurts communities. It's not really a great thing to do. So, you know, that's that opinion. Now, I didn't think that this was all that bad of a tweet. Ralph responded, and I'll get the full thing up, and says, just because you have Josh's dick in your mouth, and Josh, please shave. Gross. I'm tired of the Russian floss, if you know what I'm saying. And excuse him trying to deplatform me. That doesn't mean I will. And, you know, for the record, I don't know that I've ever excused Josh for trying to deplatform Ralph. I'm not aware of exactly what he's talking about either. And when Josh and Ralph started fighting, I thought it was gay. And when Josh and Dick were fighting, I thought that was gay too. I hate when my internet friends, whatever it is, like Jim says, don't have internet friends, I guess. I hate when people I talk to fight. It's boring. It's so boring to fight about this shit. So anyway, you know, if Josh did that, well, then that sucks, and he shouldn't do that too. Josh, if you tried to deplatform Ethan Ralph, also a bitch move. Don't do it. Which is what I basically said. Woo lad, calm down. I don't excuse anyone trying to pull that shit. Deplatforming is a shit move by anyone to anyone. If Josh tried it on you, that is also a bitch move. Maybe y'all should stop. So then he came out. He was really mad about this. And I think maybe there's something like going on that I'm not aware of, or whatever. Some people have sent me some stuff that maybe is making him more pissed off. I don't know about it. You know, and whatever. If he's just pissy, then he's just pissy. I don't. It's not that big of a deal to me. But okay. He says, well, maybe you shouldn't shoot your fucking mouth off for retweets without messaging me, which is something you've done before. Yeah, I've messaged you when I've had questions, and, you know, likely will message you again. That's fine. But I didn't think that this one needed much of a question. I saw the tweet, and I have an opinion about the tweet. I didn't think it was in good taste. All right. So, I wasn't aware that I was on a list of people, or that I had a list of people that I need to refer to before I'm allowed to make a tweet. That's not really how I've ever operated. So, bit weird, but again, yeah, so I responded, of course, I don't need your permission to tweet, Ralph, and you're acting a bit ridiculous like right now, which I think he is. That's fair. Is that Ralph in this thread and in this conversation is acting ridiculous. Does it mean I hate him? No, whatever. If he's having a bad day, he's having a bad day. And if he's not having a bad day, then I'm sure he'll let me know, you know, that wasn't just a bad day. And that's up to him. But I think it's a little ridiculous. A little bit of an overreaction in my opinion. So he says, go fuck yourself. So I said, buddy, you need to chill. This is crazy. It is crazy to me. Because I'm like the nicest person I've ever met. I'm the nicest person I've ever met. So just kidding. I'm a complete asshole. But I didn't think this was that big of a deal. And he says, yeah, it's crazy, but not for the reason you think. And again, this makes me think that there's something else going on there that maybe I wasn't aware of, and that's fine. If he wants to talk to me about that, he can. And then I said, explain it to me. This wasn't intended to piss him off. And it really wasn't. It wasn't intended to piss him off. I just don't think people need to go around deplatforming people. Even tongue-in-cheek ways. These days, guys, it's way too sensitive out there. People are getting tossed off of shit for no reason. So that, like, I know the coy, like, cute strategy of, oh, wouldn't it be weird if such and such found out about this? Like, that is intended to generate that result often. Or even if it's not intended to, it can. And it's a dangerous, dangerous whip to wield, and I don't like it. I don't like it. That was kind of a part of the facet, or that was a facet of the conflict between Doug TenNapel and Ethan Van Sciver. It was that coy, like, oh, I wonder if so-and-so knows about this. And I don't like that. I think we're on hair. Everybody's on hair triggers to end projects and end creativity today. And I think that's lame. So, with that said, he says he's on the air doing his job. I've distracted him enough. Didn't actually mean to distract you at all, man. Took the time to take a shot at me without messaging me first and asking anything. I'll respond more after in private if you'd like. I'm done here in public. And I don't know. Let me cover this thoroughly and fairly. I don't know that you were done in public. I popped in the shower before the show, so I didn't actually respond after that because there wasn't anything else to say. But I heard that there were some words said on air in public, and I don't know if they were before this tweet or after this tweet, and I don't know what they were other than little snippets of what I've read. And frankly, I don't really care. But if you're gonna talk to me in private, that's fine. Talk to me in private. So I'm guessing I will at some point see what was said off air. And you know, that'll be its own thing. Life on the internet's fucking weird, guys. It's really, really weird. But you know, the way this stuff works out is how it'll work out. At the end of the day, like, I don't tend to disassociate with people. I let them disassociate with me. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. You know, I don't run out of my way to do a bunch of shit for people either. So, if people ask me for something, and I'll either do it or not. As for Ralph, I guess I'll talk to him in private. I didn't think this was going to be such a thing. It was a rather innocuous tweet. So, so that's that. No, this isn't the arguing with idiots segment. It does need better writers. It wasn't intended to be a thing. I don't think it is that big of a thing. On that note, I'm in talks with someone to come on to a show at some point. This is mildly related, but not specifically related. But I am, and you guys are gonna want to kill me for this, and that's fine because you told me never again. You did. But I am the grift master. I hope you remember that. I hope you remember that I am the grift master. And just because you tell me never again, I know what that actually means. It is, Daddy, please do it again. That's how it goes. And I will be inviting PPP onto the show to discuss the recent shitstorm surrounding cuties, surrounding Lolly, surrounding a whole bunch of shit. We've been talking about this a little bit, and I had told him I would get back to him on it, so I'll just do it publicly. I will invite PPP on to discuss this. And interestingly, I think PPP and I have a lot of common ground on where we stand on cuties and other shit like that. Now, I know that people are going to take this the wrong way. They're going to take this the wrong way and say that this is something or whatever. But PPP and I were talking about this well before any of this weird drama started. And as you know on my show, I do not deal in associations when picking guests. So I hope PPP will accept that invitation. I think the conversation we talked about will be a good one. And I would like to get his opinion on it. I would also like to talk to the guy in a way where we're not like yelling over each other. Cause I you know, I think that was a weird first impression. That was a weird first impression. So I have a feeling this this conversation will be in a completely different way. And I've got some questions for him as well. I've got some things I wanted to talk with him about, and maybe, you know, because I think PPP had a lot of things wrong when he came onto the show as well. So I'd like to talk to him about that in a more jovial and less confrontational environment, and I think we can do that. But yeah, so that is, and the reason, like I said, I know people are going to take that the wrong way and say that's a shot at Ethan Ralph. It actually isn't. It's not a shot at anybody. The reason I bring it up is because I see a lot of things in the chat that makes me think that the people who are following PPP or following people associated with PPP and are not normally on my stream are in here and might have wanted to see that announcement. And that is the sole purpose behind that. So there you go, guys. That is how that is going. And I think that will be a good show. I think that'll be a good show. And it's, like I said, it's right in relevance to this time here. So, all right. We're going to move on from the Ralph topic, I think. We're going to move on from the Ralph topic. Wait, I should check the chats and make sure there's nothing specific to that. My YouTube studio is not updating right now, so give me just a second and I will update it and follow along. So if there are any super chats about that subject, I want to handle them before people pass off. So I'll do this a little bit out of order. In that I'm going to handle any that specifically relate to this subject, and then we can get done with it. Sponge says, is there a correlation between Ralph maligning you on Twitter and how bright red his face began to glow? I have no idea. I don't know if he was maligning me on Twitter, but, you know, that'll be up to him to determine if he's maligning me or not. It's not really that big of a deal to me. Okay, that's not... Polo Amador sent a bunch of corn cobs, which I think, although I think that's related to Ralph, and I don't even know how. I honestly don't. Okay, there's that. This is from Automata, says, Rackets, I demand you disavow people demanding that you disavow things. Starting with this demand, just start tossing down the middle fingers. And it is amazing. The demand for disavowal is something that is super lame as well, and I'm just, you know, whatever. Steve's mom says, hey, Rad Roberts, next time you want advice from a lawyer, you should ask your child bride if she knows anyone. I've never seen such thin skin covering so much fat gunt. That's a bit rude, I think, but, you know, whatever. Let's see. Brosna, my man, says, in my opinion, Ethan Ralph is what's wrong with the free speech community. He wants a free and open internet when he's in the spotlight, but goes after his objectors with Jared Holt tactics whenever it's convenient. I hope he doesn't. That's what I was trying to just call out, is just like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Mithrin Emrys says, deplatforming has become the internet autist version of the purity spiral, and those always go so well. Also, on the good news front, I passed my MPRE, that's the Lawyer's Professional Responsibility exam, so I can be unethical within the rules. Attaboy. Good job, good work, congratulations. Congratulations. Let's see. What? Okay. Angry Baneling says, need Drexel here for that PPP stream just in case. And he says, never going to stop trying to deplatform your haircut. Rude. Rude. And that's the stuff for Ethan Ralph and his and I's conversation, which Again, I get it. If Ralph is having a bad day, then he's having a bad day. I don't, shockingly, I'm not that unused to people getting really pissed off at me. So, either way. That's, I think that's it. I should try and get the transcriber on as a guest. Yeah, sounds good. Transcriber, if you want to come on the show and talk about it, hit me up. Okay, what's next? Oh, I guess I should do the rest of the $20 super chats as would be the normal thing, and then we will move into the Ronspergations show. And oh, we're also going to talk about how T. Greg got called out by Matt Walsh, which is two pretty unlikable people. But in this one, there's a way to make Matt Walsh always win. Matt Walsh can always win in one circumstance, and that's when he's talking about T. Greg Doucette in a derogatory way. So we'll be talking about that today as well. Random Blaze says, I truly feel sorry for Monica here. If when this comes back from appeals and the judgment gets reversed, she'll be in the line of fire from this wife-beating, judge-threatening abuser. You know, yeah. But don't ever forget, Monica is fully aware of the wife-beating nature of Ron Toye. Monica knows about it. Monica's okay with it. Monica Rial is okay with an abusive pile of vindictive garbage like Ron Toye. We can't pretend that this lady just doesn't know. She's talked about it. She's talked about how he's so much better. So much better now. She knows all about it. Let's see. Sakaki Onsai says, good evening, Mr. 200K over Low T Greg. Enjoying a glass of 1792. What the hell is going on? I've got to get these. Hold on. I've got to silence these notifications. I've got this new phone. Like, it beeps at me for these notifications, and I hate it. Okay. I think I got it now. It's just hitting here. Bing, 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 bing. All right. So, let's see. Yes. Back to this. Enjoying a glass of 1792 with Cruzon hurricane-proof rum waiting in the wings. Ooh, that's going to be a spicy evening. Question, how many Amish went medieval on Antifa's heinies in the last 2 nights? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Let's see. Mike Mysterio 13 says, hello, Lord Rackets. Did you see the few things I sent you about PA governor being sued for the COOF legislation and one from Massachusetts with Governor Baker? I did see. Did Pennsylvania get slapped down or Massachusetts? One of them was ruled unconstitutional, if I'm not mistaken. Also, can you talk about that payroll tax deferral thing? Yeah, I have to look into it. I remembered you asked me about it the other day, and I will look into that. I will look into that. Let's see. Brosnan, my man. Oh, wait, no, I read that one. Stephen Kretz says, I'm going to be double this super chat that forced quarantine is partially responsible for the hair triggers. Bet. Oh, I'm going to bet double this super chat. Forced quarantine is partially responsible for the hair triggers. Also, first super chat to you. Hey, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think so. When I read that the first time, I didn't realize it was related to the subject at hand, so I apologize for skipping it. Yeah, I mean, quarantine's got everybody on edge, and it's bullshit. I mean, I snapped at someone the other day over, I Karen'd someone. It was great. By email, whatever, like, I'm going to send a letter. But then, you know, I had a meeting about it today, and it was all good. Blue Crimson 217 says, glad to be watching again, Grifter. It's been about a month since I had the energy to catch a stream live. Damn. I hope that's not like you being sick or anything, but happy to have you back. Thank you. Michael Tynan says, hey Nick, I think I like the Mein Kampf haircut much better. Please go back to your roots. It's the same haircut. I just haven't gotten a haircut in a while. And then Phoenix Lord Asserman also said, Josh made a joke about sacrificing ER to the corn, and Ralph took it seriously, and that's what started the fight. That's why the corn is a meme. Woo! Okay. Well, that just removed my faith in things, but that's how it goes. Okay. All right. Let me get back to simpler times when I was just making fun of Ron. Oh my gosh. That was earlier in the day. Here we go. We'll get to that one. Oh, and yeah, if you guys didn't see this, I posted it on Twitter, but I know that Twitter is cancer. So many of you didn't see. I did a video, or I shouldn't say I did it. Drexel and I had a live stream, and from that live stream, a very talented person cut together a parody music video called Give It To Me, Neil, about The Last of Us 2. And this video was about the Abby loving, tender sex scene that happened. And so we had a funny little video about it. That's it. And it was great. And I uploaded it to my Rekieta Media channel, and it was up for several days, and then it got tagged as 18 plus. It needed to be 18 plus because of the sexual nature of the video. And I was like, I mean, I guess the sexual nature of the video, I guess it is kind of a sexual. So I didn't even appeal it. I was like, fine, it doesn't matter. It's kind of an inside joke. And I left it up. So it wasn't monetized or anything. I left it there. You know, YouTube set it to 18 plus, and that was that. But today I wake up to an email to something I've never actually seen before. And that was that YouTube has now gone back and determined that video violated its community guidelines to the point that it had to be removed entirely from the platform. Which was a little bit crazy. They removed it. So I lost it. It has been pulled down by YouTube. And it is not available at the time. I have appealed the decision. Okay? I have appealed the decision. I will show you. So the appeal window is really little, and I couldn't actually get all of this text in the shot for the appeal window. Otherwise, I would have just screen capped it. But I put all the text into this WordPad thing for the purpose of Twitter. So I'll relay that to you real quick. Diamond Duck 98. I was actually emailing people today, so I'll reach out to Kendra. I do want to talk to her. So I said, this is a parody video with footage from a AAA video game production. This content has been shared on YouTube in many iterations across many channels. Oh, I should have. That's the wrong comma. I was gonna do what is it? Whatever it is, where you add another comma, and then I took this one out. I should have taken this one out. Bad grammar on my part. Content has been shared on YouTube in many iterations across many channels. There are no exposed genitalia, and this is certainly not posted for sexual gratification. I don't think anyone honestly watching the content could possibly conclude otherwise. If you can, God help you. In fact, there are not any exposed parts between the two men in the video. And if it wasn't clear and obvious from every single indication, from the title to the actual content, this was made for the purposes of comedy. If anyone is sexually gratified by this video, they should seek therapy. So that is the actual text of the appeal that I sent into YouTube. I will let you know the result of it. And I have an update on something else that happened with YouTube. The other day, while I was down in Florida, I did a stream. And that stream was about Robert Kraft getting a super Asian hand job from a super Asian massage parlor down in Florida. And there was a whole big hubbub on it blew across the internet. There was a sting operation. It was during Super Bowl time, and they were trying to crack down on trafficking. What they did was set up a bunch of cameras in massage parlors and recorded people naked who weren't part of their warrant, and that was a big mistake. And since they did that, all of the surveillance footage of the massage parlors had to be thrown out, and now Robert Kraft will likely beat his criminal charges for an errant hand job. Okay, so very cool. In that video was when the Cuties trailer was released. The Cuties trailer was released that day, and people asked me to watch it on the live stream, and I did. I watched it on the live stream. We watched the trailer. I added a whole bunch of commentary to it about how basically people should be thrown in the damn ocean for making stuff like that, how it's disgusting, how it's pedophilic. All of that stuff occurred on that live stream in response to that. The next day, I got a copyright claim on that video for airing the Cuties trailer. So I got a copyright claim on that video, and they didn't do a strike, but they took off monetization for the entire video. Little do they know that those live streams do not get advertiser monetization on this channel. It's impossible because I say cunt a whole lot. There's just no getting around it. We cover topics that are too controversial, like, for example, Robert Kraft getting hand jobs from trafficked Asian women. That alone is too controversial, and it will get demonetized. And so that was the big joke on their part is, haha, suckers, it already wasn't going to get demonetized. But do I take that shit laying down? No, not a chance. I took the opportunity to respond to that. And the only thing I wish is that I could have shared that response with you. But once I sent in the response, YouTube took it away, which really pissed me off. I could no longer see it. But, let's see. Where is it? I don't even have the ability to get to it anymore. I don't think. I'm going to check one more. Oh, wait, no. Is this it? Hold on. Checking one more place. Otherwise, I'll just tell you what I said. I'll just tell you. Yeah, I don't think they'll even have it there. Super lame. Let me check one more place. Okay. Yeah, they don't give me the message that I sent them. Long and short, I'll relay what I sent them. I would have shared it at the time, but it was lost to the void. I told them that, first of all, it was fair use, and no one who watched my video could in any way think that there was anything other than criticism of the disgusting pedophilic trailer that Netflix was supporting. And then I said that Netflix trying to take away monetization on this video is bullshit, because if Netflix is going to profit off of the sexual exploitation of children, then I will similarly profit over calling them a bunch of disgusting pedophilic degenerates for their sexual exploitation of children. And I sent in that objection to their copyright claim, and I found out yesterday that I won. I won, and the video is back to its status, and their copyright claim is gone. So they can eat all of the adult dicks in the world. Please, Netflix, stick to adults. Your producers, your showrunners are disgusting. Whoever is involved in choosing that abomination is disgusting. And don't take my word for it, guys. Don't take my word for it at all. Go watch. I watched a video today by Critical. Penguin Zero. I think you guys know who he is, I think. Penguin Zero is his YouTube name, but it's Critical. He did a video talking about watching the first 30 minutes of Cuties, and just take his opinion, or literally any number of opinions from people who have actually watched it and said not only is it disgusting and degenerate, it's also just a bad fucking movie. So, yeah. Again, you won't catch me watching that movie anytime that I can foresee. There would have to be some real weird circumstances for me to watch it. I saw a couple clips on Twitter and I said, nope, peace out of that shit. And that is that. And now I will start the nightly drinking. Just kidding. Joe. That sounded really alcoholic. I'm drinking Lagavulin 12 tonight. You can tell by it is the color of like urine, but it's the taste of urine that's been burned in a campfire. Okay. All right. Yeah, I stopped trusting Rotten Tomatoes when I saw that Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy had 85%, and then I went and saw it in theaters. It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't an 85% movie. So anyway. All right. What else do we have today? Oh, yes. Yes. My interactions with Ron Toye. This is great, by the way. Whoever drew this, person who drew this, deserves everything. Whatever they can get, all of it. I guess it's this super rider, $20 commission open every week. That guy is amazing. Okay. So someone sent me this. I didn't see it organically. I'd love to have Gundam on the show. That guy's hilarious. That guy's hilarious. I don't know how I could get his VTuber avatar on the show. He should put tits on that Gundam someday. I think that'd be really funny. Okay. So someone sent me this. We'll just talk through this, and then we'll go through the responses. Cat Lionheart, I think if I was a VTuber, you would never know it. And I would go retire on my yacht if I was a VTuber. It'd be great. Okay. Ronald Toye. He's talking about here he is. This is the same shit. Deplatforming, right? The same shit. My son's was and have photos of it. Ron Toye is mad that the world knows his son's name is Ron Toye. I think, interestingly, there's one other person who's mad about Ron Toye's son being named Ron Toye. I'll let you guess who it is. And while some of the information is available online, the process of compiling it like that is meant to intimidate. He's complaining about the Doxamal. Well, it's Doxamon. It's Doxamon is the thread name, I believe, on Kiwi Farms, where people doxed a bunch of people involved in the Weeb Wars. I don't remember, but it's not just KickVic people who've been doxed, believe it or not. Other people have been doxed in that thread as well who are not KickVic. I'm trying to think of who. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It is meant to intimidate. It's actually not usually meant to intimidate. If you pay attention to how people on Kiwi farms talk about doxing, it's rarely about intimidation. Usually, if you're trying to intimidate someone, what you do is you would like compile the personal information maybe, and then send it to them, or start sending it intentionally to other people and CCing the person. Like you would let them know that there was a threat going on. If you're trying to intimidate someone, you usually don't just post it to the sped corner of the internet and then leave it alone. That's not how intimidation is usually done. Although Ron Toye, being one of the least intimidating people I've ever seen, may just not know how to intimidate. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Okay. There is no justification for it. That kid didn't realize the mess he was in trying to help Nick. He drove from Houston. Oh, okay. So here's the context. Now, I remember now. This is Joseph TX he's talking about. Joseph TX was a guy on Kiwi Farms. He is the guy who got the documents, the divorce documents of Ron Toye. And Joseph TX, you don't realize the mess you're in trying to help me. Just so you know, I believe the biggest fallout of Joseph TX getting those documents and whatever stemmed from that was he was eventually banned from Kiwi Farms for some posts he made about talking to Ron and other Kick Vic people in person or whatever. I think that was the extent of the mess he's in, because I'll tell you what hasn't happened to him. As far as I know, he's not in any legal trouble and he's not liable for any criminal activity. So I don't know what mess he's talking about. really don't. But I think Ron has a distorted view of the world. That much should be clear. Also, I don't believe he actually drove from Houston to get those documents, Ron. But Ron, that I'll let you figure out when you masturbate to this transcript later on. I'll let you figure out where he drove from, if you can. But I'll just tell you, pretty sure your facts are wrong on that one too. Because you don't have a grasp on the situation you think you do. And that's going to come up again and again and again. Oh, Vic was doxxed. Yeah, Vic was doxxed in that thread too. That's right. Okay. So then he has another post here. Yeah, Kiwi Farms has a Dox 'em all page where they detail where everyone lives, including photos of their homes, family info, etc. That's why it is disgusting for him to be so silent on that. So silent on what? Again, it is public record. It is. I don't know. And I'm not sure actually who he's talking about being silent on. Maybe Vic. I don't have the context of this tweet, unfortunately. I tried to go back and find it, but Ron Toye tweets more than a 12-year-old girl. In fact, Ron Toye may identify as a 12-year-old girl. I don't know. He said, I hope someone reports that page to the police. Hello, police? Yes? Do you have an emergency? I do. There's a website called Kiwi Farms, and they're posting people's addresses. Wait, like the phone book? Well, I mean, not really, though. You mean like whitepages.com? No, I didn't say that. You mean like Spokio? No, not that one. You have to pay for Spokio. You mean like Pipple? No, not Pipple either. It's different because it's just there and you don't have to pay anything for it. What the cops are going to do? What, they're going to raid the Kiwi Farm servers? What are they going to do? What's the plan? What's the end goal here? You should always ask this when you're talking about the police, right? Because I am a firm believer that you should almost never call the police. Really rare circumstances. Now, they do exist, right? If something happens to you specifically that's a crime, you should call the police. If something is happening to someone, you know, a child is in danger, you should call the police. I've done that. I've called the police when children were in danger. I was also a mandated reporter before I became a lawyer. It's kind of hard to be a mandated reporter when you are a lawyer. I know some states say that lawyers are mandated reporters, but sometimes that conflicts with all sorts of stuff. But before I was a lawyer, I was a mandated reporter, so I would report those things to the police when I saw them. But that was very rare too. We're talking, I believed a child was in imminent danger. Other than those very rare instances, don't call the police because someone else has a very rare instance, which is important, and your shit isn't. Especially when it's doxing on the kiwi farms. Okay, I agree. It is sad they were so callous about how that would impact the people who spoke up. If they're callous, they're not trying to intimidate. Those two things are mutually exclusive. Callous disregard is what he's referring to. Like if it's, well, they just don't care about how it'll impact people, then it can't be intimidating. That's the opposite of intimidating. Ty was intent on having names, and then he admitted to sending the videos of the depositions to Nick, and that's how additional names of people who didn't speak up in public got doxxed. Oh, is it? Is it? Is that how it happened? That's not how it happened. But that's okay. That's okay. Also, a lot of those people sent in affidavits. And those affidavits were public record as well. So anyone that wasn't, mentioned in the depositions was going to come out in the affidavits. But all the deposition footage was redacted. All of it. And just so we're clear, I received it redacted. You know why? Because I'm not Vic's lawyer. So if there was some sort of agreement to keep names confidential, I couldn't have them either. And if you think I did that video editing, oh my God, I don't know how. I honestly swear to God, I have no idea how to blank out a portion of a video. I'm that bad at video editing. I'll tell you guys a secret. If I screw up in recording a video, I don't edit it to fix it. I just re-record it. Like if I'm doing a 10 or 15 minute video about something and I fuck up on minute 13, guess what? Stop, start over, re-record. I don't know how to do it effectively, so I can get through like clipping some stuff together, but it wouldn't look good and it would take me longer than re-recording it. I don't do video editing. It's one of the reasons I switched to doing live shows. It's so much easier for me to just sit here and talk with the forgiveness of a live program than show how bad I am at doing the very simple task of editing. It's that simple. There are, if you ever see something of mine that's like edited or more particularly edited well, someone else did it. It's that simple. It's not my skill set. I don't really have the time to learn it. And there are people who know it much better, who I'm happy to compensate for their efforts. So yeah. Let me point that out, Ron. I received them redacted. I didn't do the redactions. I didn't know what names were on there. So you can't, you can try and blame me all you want. Go ahead. Here's the problem you've got, though. Your agreement was never violated in any way. Whatever extent of the agreement there was, wasn't violated. because his names were not released. And maybe if you idiots didn't spurg out about it, no one would have been able to confirm any of the names in there. You fucking moron. All right. Pink Risen Bull says, I thought he censored the names as things like Miss Orange or Purple. I didn't. I don't know how to do that. Did I say reductions? I meant redactions, damn it. And then, look at this. Oh, this is one of my favorite things that Ron did. He corrected censored, but he corrected it wrong because the man is a brainlet. The man is stupid. There's no way around it. The other guy was spelling censored correctly. And he went to this. And he put the period outside of the quotes. And he started a sentence with but without a comma. This is an embarrassing opening 2 words for Ron here. But Nick passed the video to a few additional YouTubers so they could watch it together. No, I didn't. Someone reminded me. Someone actually corrected me on this, and I'll address it in just a minute. I'll address it in the natural flow of conversation. But this is a theme that Ron has been going on. That I passed around the deposition videos. The only place those videos exist in public is on YouTube. And the only place I'm aware that the majority of them exist is on my hard drive. I guess in theory, it's possible that they exist somewhere else that I'm not aware of. But there's only been distribution of one part of the Ron deposition. And that was the first part of it, which was sent to Lord Schmecky so we could watch it together. And I don't remember, but I don't know if any of those people came up in that video. I honestly don't remember that at all. But I have not sent those deposition videos to anyone else. And for all of the accusations that we on YouTube are the biggest grifters, and we all know that only I am the supreme grifter, and fuck off if you want to think that you can take my grifting title. But lesser grifters, lesser grifters like Tug or Yellow Flash or Hero Hey, guys who were reporting on this stuff, if you think that they would have not utilized copies of those videos on their own channels, then I don't know what to tell you, because of course they would have. Of course they would have. Now, they never even asked me for them. But if I had distributed them around, they would of course use them. And they should have. There'd be nothing wrong with that. But no, Ron, there's a reason they're only up on my channel. Any other ones you see, like anything you've seen on YouTube that is like cuts from those depositions, are taken from my show. People have asked me over and over to like put up the actual unredacted deposition footage, and or the not unredacted but no commentary deposition footage. And I thought about doing it for a while, and then I said, nah, no, it's fine. You can deal with my annoying ass on there. And I don't believe they're even monetized, so it's not like I get money from it. I'm just a prick like that. But anyway, so no, I didn't send it to additional YouTubers. I sent one part of one video to Cody because he was on the show and we watched it in sync. By the way, that one was also redacted, the exact same, because I didn't edit the video. It was already redacted. Let's see. Their names 4 out due to Ty Beard sending the videos to Nick. Those would have never seen the light of day if it wasn't for Ty and Nick. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We wanted everything public. We want everything to be known. We want all of it public. We're fighting to make it public. We want our truth. Our truth. Our truth, you liar. That's all you want is your truth. Sunlight is the disinfectant. You wanted it out there because you didn't want people to know the Yost twins lived at your house, you creep. You abusive pile of trash. You monster. You wanted it out there because you didn't want people to start wondering why Sarah Breckmeyer never said anything. Still hasn't. That's why you didn't want their names out there. You didn't want people to start researching the associations and connections because you'd see that Faisal Ahmad is a known liar, for example. You'd see that Kara Edwards lied about her shit because people could just go to Facebook and find the lie. Over and over again, everything has been shown to be a lie. And that's what you didn't want. You wanted a narrative. You didn't want a truth. So, okay. So I said, despite my desire to avoid the deranged ramblings of and this is supposed to be getting used to my new phone's keyboard. Woman abusing pile of shit. I'll address this publicly. I've never distributed the deposition videos other than on my show. Ron Toye 3 is a liar and an abuser who is also seemingly insane. Ron, stop beating women. Now, this is before I remembered that I had to send the one video to Lord Schmecky. So I will offer that as a correction publicly, that the one part of Ron's deposition video was sent to Lord Schmecky. And I would send it again to do the same show. But other than that, nothing. Nothing, because he was the only guest I had on for any of the deposition clips, and it was only for half of Ron's. All right. So then Ron got all salty here. Videos were redacted in public record. They're not actually, I'll do some correction here. They're not actually public record. They're just not privileged or protected in any way. So deposition videos are not automatically a part of the public record. The transcripts are now part of the public record. The transcripts are now part of the public record. The videos are not. The videos have not been introduced as evidence into the matter. Only the transcripts have. There may be clips of the video introduced as evidence at some point. We'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. But they're not part of the public record. But they're also not privileged, which means they are fully able to be disclosed. You can find deposition videos on YouTube. There's no protection for them other than what your attorneys are willing to protect. Unfortunately, there are people who lip read, but the effort was made. The effort was made. It was great. Good effort. He wouldn't be pissed if they made him look as good as they claim. That's the stinging truth. And then they call me Ralph says, Small Boy also leaves out that his defense team refused the motion to ensure names and information weren't in the public record. Yes, he did. They had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to have an actual agreement for confidentiality regarding everyone who gave, regarding everyone's affidavits. They chose not to do it. Let me repeat that for the Rons in the back who are standing behind tall people. They had the opportunity to have all of the names of all affiants redacted, and I believe to have their affidavits kept private. And Ron and his team said no. They wanted them to be public. In fact, his lawyers fought in court for them to be public. Whoops. Whoops. If you didn't want them public, maybe your lawyer shouldn't have been standing in front of a judge saying you demanded them to be public. That isn't how it worked. We got an agreement on those names since everyone who spoke out publicly was harassed. Not true. Because Ty leaked the video and then Nick sent it to the YouTubers, they got out and were harassed. That will be addressed. Listen, they got addressed, or they got out because I aired them on the show. That's where they got out. Ron, they got out because someone lip read the names and people put together clues and came up with it. That's all. Had nothing to do with other YouTubers. There was no distribution of videos necessary. It was distributed to the internet. And again, I would distribute it twice as hard if I could. If I could show the world just what a sniveling little shit you are, I would do it in a heartbeat. And oh my God, you are so lucky that Ty didn't know about you abusing women beforehand, because I bet that deposition would have been 10 times funnier than it already was. And if there's another deposition, if there's another one out there that comes up where you have to answer for the fact that you beat women and threatened to murder children and dogs, you disgusting little shit, I will air it twice. I will do 2 separate shows watching the same part of that deposition where you have to explain how beating women is fine. You disgusting, woman-abusing pile of garbage. You're one of the worst people I've ever encountered. And dear God, I hope that opportunity arises. Oh, and by the way, if it'll be addressed, guess what fucking opportunity is gonna arise? Guess what opportunity arises in that arc? All right. So I responded, address it all you want, manlet. I can't wait to see your fact theory put down on paper. I stand by that video clip, especially for you, wife beater. I guess it merits whatever happens. Or whatever happened. We should see what Ron is so focused on here. All right. So we're gonna do the volume on this one. And I'll share that volume with you. One moment. All right. I don't know specifically what clip this is, but I stood by it a second ago. So let's stand by it again. I just don't like any of the defendants, and I think they're terrible people. And I want to see them ground into dust. Because when you lie to take away a man's livelihood, you deserve to be ground into dust. You are scum and you know it. I find nothing but truth in that video clip. I can't disagree with me. I can't disagree with me at all. Whoever that guy is in the video, he's great. Guy knows exactly what he's talking about. Okay. Let's see. Felipe Move. I missed this one earlier. I gotta hit it. Says, Nick, don't be that way. Go get the whiskey, please. I'm working late tonight, but tomorrow I won't be here. Just want your opinion on it. Oh, I'll absolutely go with it, Felipe. Or go get it in just a second, Felipe. I'll go grab it. I didn't know you weren't going to be here tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll go grab it in just a second. Corathus says, Nick, in the case of what Ron was talking about, I'm pretty sure the first response by the police would be asking if it was a prank call from a local radio show. There you go. And then Bad Vibe says, just a reminder, Ron had no issue trying to waste time and money trying to drag you into court. He is butthurt that you haven't been doxxed. Haven't I? Oh, man, I thought I was. Remember, these folks have zero issue with QT's fangirl manjaw. Who's QT? Manjaw is disgusting. Would you smash that handsome man in the vid we just watched? Look, I'm not into dudes, but I can maybe make an exception for him. All right. So yeah, address it. Address it, Ron. Go ahead. What are you going to do? Are you going to sue me? Is that the big brain plan? You're going to sue me over all of this? That'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting saga. Whew. Okay. So then, yeah, here he responded, your streams are recorded and transcribed, wink face. And then he has the same clip. I can lip read ground into dust. I'm a professional lip reader now, too. This one, it might be the same length. I don't know. He posts these videos so much. They're all over the place. Like, he cannot... Where even is this?
I don't...
What? Oh, no, that's a different thing. This is just him posting the video clip other than that. He posts these like crazy. Okay. Anyway. Very weird. So I said, yes, YouTube records and transcribes all my shows. And it does, by the way. If you go on to every single live stream, there's a transcript. You can open it on the side. There's a transcript you can access if you want to see what was said on the show, or if you want to search by terms. Now, it's a machine that does it, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. And you can search by, like, if you remember, oh, I remember a phrase from the show, you can actually open the transcript and hit Control F and type in the phrase, and it'll probably find it. So it'll be great. It's great. So I said, yeah, yes, YouTube records and transcribes all my shows. The fact that you pay some idiot to do it is even funnier. Because why would you? You could just download them from YouTube or archive them on YouTube and then save the archive link if you don't want to keep the terabytes and terabytes of data. And then the other thing you could do is you could just get the transcript from YouTube. You just copy and paste it into anything. But instead, he's paying someone to do it. So, that's great. I guess that's fantastic. This guy is such a weird little individual. And I don't know what makes him tick. And I don't know why he's on a tear. But I can show you. Let's take a peek at this real quick. Since the trolls nuked my account, I decided to start a new one. Guess who is back? March 2020. And by the way, deplatforming Ron Toye was a shit move too. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear on that. Vic. It's all Vic. This is what he does all day long. All day. Is that Fred Durst? Oh, God. Fred Durst should be embarrassed. All day long. Look at this. This is a broken person. All day long. We're only at 10 hours ago. This is all today. This is all still today. Okay, now we're at yesterday. Except, nope, 22 hours ago, 23 hours ago. We're almost there. Now we're at yesterday. It's all Vic stuff. Every day. All day. The man is broken. The same like 8 clips. What is this? Oh my God. Look at him pandering to black people. God, he's weird. What a weirdo. This, oh, by the way, Ron Toye is full simp squad. I hope you guys know that. Constant simpery. It's weird. Same clips, different day. Same clips over and over and over. This is still the same day. This is all September 13th. We've been on September 13th for like 20 pages. This triggered him. He was really mad. Kind of like when Vic blocked him by walking next to Monica. Vic unmanned Ron Toye in front of his personal fucking fiance by merely walking next to her. Ron couldn't handle another man walking next to his personal fucking fiance. Because Vic just walked up next to her. Ron was so triggered that he's carried that with him for years. Years of anger and resentment. You want to know about like beta simp material? That's what it is. Bro, he just walked next to your fiance who he's been friends with longer than you've known her. Are you afraid, Ron? You afraid she likes him? Is that what all this is, Ron Toye? Are you just afraid that Monica might remember that at one point she liked Vic? May have even been attracted to him? Is that what you're afraid of? Is that what all this is? Is this jealous soy boy rage? Oh, God. Oh, I think it is. Oh, that is the epitome of embarrassing. He's just mad. He decided to screw a man's life up because that man was more handsome than him. That's it. According to his personal fucking fiance, anyway. Notice the venom there, right? Like, I would never be like, my personal fucking wife. That's just not, that's a weird, possessive, odd thing to do. And it exudes a lack of testosterone and confidence. That is very, very strange. All right. Let me go grab Felipe's whiskey. Because I feel bad that I left it upstairs and he's not going to be there tomorrow. So let me go grab it. I'll be right back. Okay. I apologize. Guys, I have bad news about Chaircoon. Chaircoon is getting several cracks in the leather. Probably fake leather. From, I've had Chaircoon for a couple years now. And, it's just getting old. It's just getting old. So at some point in the near future, I have to get a new chair, Coon. And, because I don't want Chaircoon to end up like Shane's chair. Right? That would be disgusting. I don't want that to happen. So, I'm gonna have to figure something out. And I don't know what we should do. Once I get a new chair, Coon, I think we have to euthanize this one. So I don't know if you guys would be interested in a Chaircoon euthanasia stream. But we might have to do that at some point in the future. Look, I gotta admit, Chaircoon's getting old. I've been looking at other chairs lately, younger chairs, frankly. And some of them are pretty, you know, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. So, I don't know. There's a Thermaltake chair that has air conditioning in it. Okay. So this is from Felipe Mouve. And this is a whiskey from India called Amrut. A single malt peated whiskey. And this is cask strength 62.8% alcohol. Woo! Damn! That's a lot of whiskey. Baneling, you know about this? Here, I'll read the back. This is a nice looking bottle, so. According to Indian mythology, when the gods and Rakshasas, the demons, churned the oceans using the mountain Meru, a golden pot sprang out of the oceans containing the elixir of life. This is called the Amrut. The great founders of our distillery aptly named it Amrut Distilleries. Amrut single malt whiskey, peated, is a product of many years of research and development with an aim to produce world-class whiskeys. This whiskey is made from the finest imported Scottish peated barley. It is carefully mashed and distilled in small batches to preserve the natural aromas and matured in oak barrels in unique tropical conditions at an altitude of 3,000 feet above sea level at Bangalore, the Garden City of India. To retain the natural characteristics of this oak-aged Indian single malt whiskey, we do not chill filter, and it is bottled straight from the barrel in its natural color. This exclusive limited edition bottling of Amrut single malt peated whiskey offers the whiskey connoisseur the rare opportunity to savor this unique peated treasure of India. Enjoy responsibly. So, we'll try this. It's got a great description, good backstory. This is the exact thing I drank when I was 13 and never touched again. This was a relatively new brand in 2005. It burns like a bitch. Oh, speaking my language, Baneling. Here's the bottle. There's a beautiful color on this whiskey, by the way. It's a clear bottle. That color is all natural, baby. All natural. It doesn't say how old it's aged. There's a thing in here. Diamond Duck, why do you have seething rage? The Herman Miller chair. The Herman Miller, like, gaming chair that they came out with, that one looks kind of nice. But I kind of want that... Man, I kind of want that Thermaltake chair with air conditioning for my balls. Okay, this is just an ad. This is just an ad for stuff. I don't... Let's see. Woo! They don't actually tell me how old any of this stuff is, so hoping this is older than the actors from Cuties. Diamond Duck, to be fair, I didn't announce PPP. I invited PPP publicly. Okay. I think I need a fresh glass for this. See what I got. Oh, yeah. We're going to go back to some roots. PPP accepted. Great. I'll set up the date with him at some point. I've also I reached out to several people today who are on the list of people I need to reach out to. Mark Randazza, Dean Kane, Uncivil Law, Chris Hook, all of them. I followed up with all of them, just waiting on responses. Here's the glass we will be using. This is the Rekieta Law tumbler. I guess it's not a tumbler, whatever this is called. Lady Rackets got for me oh so long ago. Woo! Sell chunks of sweat-soaked seat like it's bathwater. Oh, God. It's got a pretty powerful smell. Little gasoline-y. High octane with this much liquor involved. Woo! It's got some heat going down. Woo! Damn. It's a strong whiskey. That's a very strong whiskey. You hated this? This is really good. The burn is like, it's not to me, it's not an offensive burn. I mean, this is strong. Don't get me wrong. This is a lot of alcohol content. It's more than this Lagavulin 16, which is only 57.8% alcohol. So it's got some heat to put onto it. It's really good. I don't know what to say. It's smoky. The peat is nice. It's not Lagavulin and Laphroaig taste a lot like ground. Like the best analogy for them is like like drinking a campfire. This doesn't taste like ground. It's not as earthy as those are. It's again, it's higher octane than both of them. But you can taste the smoke without as much earthiness, and God, it's really terrific. Thank you, by the way, Felipe. I really appreciate it. This is a great bottle. Great bottle. And I'm happy to add it to my collection of things from far away, so thanks. Felipe Mube, speaking of which, he says he is a Democrat too. Does Ron Toye have a single positive quality? By the way, who do you think are the characteristics of the people rioting? Criminals? I mean, rioting is a criminal act in general, so yes. But there's a certain personality that's required to go out and burn shit down in general. And it's usually not people who aren't disposed to that sort of behavior. One thing I'll say as a defense attorney, my experience as a defense attorney is you tend to run into, most of the time, people who just seem to end up on the wrong side of cops a lot. That's not all the time. Occasionally you get someone who has not only no record, because no record doesn't mean you don't end up on the wrong side of cops a lot. Occasionally you get someone who not only has no record, they also haven't ever really been arrested or haven't even dealt with a cop before. Lots of people get arrested or get into a spat with a police officer or other authority figure, but don't get charged. That happens quite often. What you find in the criminal defense business is that the people, these are not one-off customers. Even if you win, they're not one-off customers. They're probably going to be back within 6 to 12 months. And they may still be innocent, but they just happen to run into the cops all the time, and they just happen to have problems when they do. I don't know. But those are the people that I have a feeling are also involved in rioting. Me, I almost never run into cops unless it's involving a moving violation. I got pulled over the other day for speeding. Alleged speeding. The police officer pulls me over. I've got my son in the car. And I turned back to him and I said, "You don't say a word. You don't say a word." And he says, "Okay." Police officer comes up to my car, and I pulled out my driver's license, and I looked for my insurance card, but I couldn't find it because we just got new ones the other day, and they're still at my house. So I was like, son of a bitch. But it ended up being okay. So he comes up and he asks me, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I said, "No, because you never know why someone pulls you over." You know, you could list off all the things you've done wrong, but you don't know what one they picked. So he says, "Well, I pulled you over for speeding. And I pulled you over, or when I clocked you, you were doing 75 and a 65. And then when you got onto this one road, it dropped down to 60, and then you sped up to 77. Says, I don't know why you do that." And here's the trick. They do these conversations because what they want you to say is, "Oh, yeah, I was doing that. Oh, yeah, I was speeding." Or, "Oh, I wasn't going that fast. I was only going." And so I said, "Okay, all right, okay." And then he said, "I don't know why you do that." And I said, "That does seem weird." And that's all. And then he said, "Okay, can I get your driver's license? I don't need your insurance card." At that point, I already know I'm not getting a ticket. He says, if they don't ask for your insurance card, you're not getting a ticket. He just wants to go do a warrant check. So I gave him my driver's license, and he goes back to his car. And I'm fine at this point because I know, well, nothing bad's going to happen here. Also had expired tags on my car. He asked if I knew that I had expired tags on my car. I did not know that I had expired tags on my car. I probably, if I really tried to figure it out, could have figured out that I had expired tags on my car, because I know logically when they do expire. December is the answer. I don't know if you guys are aware of what month it is, but they expire in December. So there was that. So he comes back and he says, "You live right by here." Oh, he also asked me if I'd been pulled over in the last 6 months for speeding. And I said, "I don't think so." Because that's true. I don't think I have. And I haven't, because he informed me of when I was last pulled over. And that was apparently November and apparently April before that. So I'm good at going about 7 to 10 months before getting pulled over again. But then he told me something weird. He said that I have been pulled over. He's like, you live right by here, and you've been pulled over in this exact same spot before. And that was weird. That was weird. Because he's kind of right. I've been pulled over in that area before. But it was 15 years ago. It was before I even lived here. So that was the weird one for me. Because I was like, me being pulled over in this area shouldn't even be in your system anymore. So I don't know if he was just wrong about where he thinks I was pulled over or what. But yeah, so I did not get a ticket. I continue my streak. Since entering law school, I have not received another ticket. Prior to law school, I had to explain away 9 speeding tickets. Whenever you are going for bar admission, they ask you if there are any interactions that you've ever had with the law, including traffic violations. So you have to go back and list every traffic violation. It's kind of a tough thing to do, especially if you don't know. But I had 9 speeding tickets prior to being in law school. Now, remember, guys, that I entered law school when I was like 32 or something. When was it? Anyway, it was a long time ago. Or it was a long time ago, but I'm also old. I did not go directly from college to law school. I had several years of working between then. So yeah, I had 9 speeding tickets before because I didn't know how to handle them. Since entering law school, I haven't gotten a single speeding ticket. So I maintain my streak. I'm waiting for the day when that changes. And it'll be fun to go to court and fight the ticket to the maximum because I'll just be an ass about it. But yeah, so that's my report on being pulled over. But anyway, that all came from one. This is a strong whiskey. I'm gonna say it. This is a strong whiskey. Oh, my favorite part of the encounter was he said, "Look, just set the cruise control," which is good advice. It's very good advice. Little did he know that the cruise control was set. And that's why it's weird that he clocked me at 75 and then 77 when my cruise control was set at 79. Anyway, but that was a fun encounter. It was a fun encounter. And it is really weird that my vehicle went from 75 to 77. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what he might have clocked me on a curve at one of those points, and that could have messed with it. By the way, if you're not aware of how physics works, if you're on a curve, you can't accurately measure speed on a vector. I'm bad at math, but I know enough physics to know that your vectors change pretty dramatically when you're on a curve. So speed doesn't measure accurately, and radar does not pick it up accurately either. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if he picked me up on a curve at one of the points. And on Minnesota speeding tickets, they have to indicate whether or not you were on a curve when they clocked you. Yeah, this is the moral of that story, guys. Very moral story is what cops are trying to do in that interview when they pull you over for speeding. And if you are a serial speeder like I was, I've never sped in my life after law school. If you're a serial speeder like I was, you may not know this. So this is for you. The interview, when they pull you over, is solely for the purpose of getting an admission of guilt on anything you may have done. And it starts with the question of, do you know why I pulled you over? If you say, yes, my tail light's out, there you go. If you say, yeah, I forgot to do a blinker. Yeah, I ran through that red light a little late. Any of those things, that's what they're trying to get. If they ask you how fast you are going, just say, I don't know. It's not actually a crime to not know how fast you are going. It's only a crime to be exceeding the speed limit, whether you knew it or not. So if you say, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I was going like 72 and you're in a 65, you're speeding. They will write that down as an admission that you were speeding. If they ask you what the speed limit is on the road you're at, say you don't know. Do you know? Unless you're sitting by a sign, do you know? More importantly, do you know where they clocked you and what the speed limit was there? You may think you know, but do you actually know? Now, there are some ways to know. Minnesota codifies what the speed limit is in an unlabeled area with certain characteristics. By the way, if you're on a Minnesota highway and it's one lane each way, non-divided, it is 60 miles an hour as a default speed limit, unless otherwise posted. So you might have an idea of what the speed limit is, but maybe it wasn't otherwise posted, or maybe it was otherwise posted. Maybe there was a transition zone you didn't know about. You don't actually know. And again, it's not a crime to know or to not know what the speed limit is. That's actually perfectly legal. It's not a defense to speeding, but it's not a crime to not know. These are the most important things during a speeding encounter. You don't have to know them. You're not legally required to. You're just legally required to comply. But they are legally required to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that you were doing the thing. If you don't admit to speeding in any way, then to prove you are speeding, they have to introduce their radar gun into evidence. And the moment they do that, you get to then question the validity of the radar gun itself, of the radar gun's calibration, of the operation of the radar gun, of the training of the officer using the radar gun, of whether or not they can prove that the gun was pointed at your car. You get to ask all of these questions. You get to demand a maintenance record for the radar device that was used. You get to demand a calibration record. You get to demand them to produce an expert to prove that the radar gun was properly calibrated, when, why, how, what the procedure was, what other states do. You get to do all of that. And guess what? That costs a lot more than a $150 ticket. It costs a whole lot more than a $150 ticket. And you don't demand them at the stop, you would demand them in court. That would be part of your discovery. But it costs a lot for them to produce it, because they have to have a lawyer go through, talk to police officers, get the tech department on the line, because they have to produce that radar guns. The serial number should be on your ticket or should be discoverable. You have to produce that radar gun, that serial number's maintenance logs. And then they have to produce an expert that can tell you why that maintenance is proper. That expert alone will cost the county $1,000 to $2,000 for $150 on a speeding ticket. So anyway, just don't admit to anything. Just don't ever admit to anything. Okay, couple super chats, and then we will get back to the show. Damn, I burned a lot of time here. Riley Pettyjohn says, I've always and still continue to maintain a neutral ground on the whole Vic case and choose no sides. However, even as just a neutral observer, I can see how annoying and unlikable Ron is. Riley, that's a respectable position. Because at the end of the day, none of us know. Just like with the speeding. Because honestly, if a cop asks you how fast you're going, you have no idea where they clocked you and exactly what speed you're going. If you're staring at your speedometer, it's wrong. It's wrong. My speedometer read 79. My cruise control thing read 79. He clocked me at 75 and 77. It's incorrect. You don't know how fast you're going. No idea. If I had Google Maps up, it would give me a different number. In my van, I was probably driving 100 miles an hour through Kentucky. Google Maps said I was doing 90. Just how it is. We don't know what happened with Vic. I still don't know. I know what I've talked to Vic about and what he's told me about. And before anyone gets too crazy on that, it's the most boring shit imaginable. Like one of the conventions where he's alleged to have done awful things, his mom was there and was with him the entire time. Yes, the grown man, his mother was with him the entire time. So there wasn't any fun, sexy shenanigans going on. And by the way, that convention is in the case saying that he did things in this case. But Vic's mom was there and says, not even possible. He was with me the entire time. That's not mom shaming. That's just kind of, it's a boring story. The much better story is sex with a bunch of co-eds, right? Like that's salacious and that's crazy. That's what the internet wants to hear, but that's not what happened. It's very mundane. And in fact, when you start looking into Vic's con appearances and you start talking to people who are there and stuff like that, they're all very mundane. Outside of maybe a couple spicy ones, which are not the subject of this lawsuit. You're going to have mundane actions by a guy who goes to conventions to meet with fans and not to meet with fans to bang them. That's a weird artifact Ron has created in his head because Ron Toye cannot stop thinking about two things: sex with Vikmanana and sex with underage girls. Ron Toye can't stop thinking about that. He combines them in his head because Ron Toye is an abuser and a creep. And there's no bones about it. The man's an abuser and a creep. So Ron assumes that everyone's an abuser and he must protect the world from other abusers, but not himself. This is important to remember. We have a deranged person on the forefront of all of this. Truly and utterly deranged. But I digress. If you start getting into this, listen. If Vic was the way that they said Vic was, we would have stories from a minimum 10 cons per year for 20 years on average. That's a low average. That's 200 conventions. Remember, Michelle Specht said that Vic would have someone at every convention, right? At every single one, he'd have someone laying in wait for him. We would have 200 stories from 200 conventions. And the best they can get are non-verifiable stories from like 3. That's it. We don't know. We don't know, though. We don't know what happened with Vic at these places. I wasn't there personally. I can't. And even if I was, you'd have to take my word for it. You wouldn't know. So I wasn't there personally. You probably weren't there personally. We don't know. That's a fair take to have. But what I say is maintain that fair take and maintain the innocence until you see any compelling evidence otherwise. Ryo Hoshi says, I've heard more stories about Monica by asking my sources. So you'll find that about a lot of the accusers. There's a reason they're pointing fingers. Please don't look at me. No, him. Why? Please don't look at me. Cal Larkin says, the other night I mentioned a GoFundMe for the killing of my dog. I updated with more info. My face and name are on there. I need an attorney and grief counseling. The GoFundMe is puppy-death-legal-fund. Please help me. Guys, go check out Cal Larkin's puppy GoFundMe legal fund. Make your own decisions on it. I will say this. Cal has reached out to me. He's offered an impassioned plea. He has sent me a bunch of stuff to try and show that he's not, doing anything improper here. And I have said that I will talk about his GoFundMe the same way I talk about everyone else's. I don't know Cal in any capacity. I can't vouch for its authenticity, but I will say that, Cal sent me a bunch of stuff, and I encourage you to go give it a look. Give it a look if that's something you're into. If you're into the protection of animals or the help of people dealing with grief, give it a look. If not, don't. That's up to y'all. JCF Data says, evening, Nick. Hope you and the family are doing well. Sent you a DM with an interesting ruling around the human malware and governor powers in Pennsylvania. Very interesting conclusion. I'll check it out. Absolutely. Jonathan Gayweiler. On my third glass of Lagavulin, just had to put our 13-year-old Aussie down. Oh, thanks for helping make tonight a little easier. Hey, buddy. I have buried... We have outdoor cats. Outdoor cats and kids, man. I've buried many a cat. I've buried enough dogs. Peace, brother. Bad Vibe says, speeding may be an infraction. Just remember there is a limit where speeding becomes a major crime. Check your state laws. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Don't break state laws. Ever. Tell the driveway story again? No. Oh my God. Peeling a poor kitty off the driveway in the winter when it's frozen to the ground was awful. Awful. I don't want to revisit that. Thanks for that. God damn it. Woo! What was worse was my 4-year-old's eulogy for her favorite kitty. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's where we're at. All right, let me find the arguing with idiots thing real quick. Now I'm burping up some spicy whiskey. Okay, I got to get past the Ethan Ralph stuff. Okay. Let's see. We're going to scroll through a couple tweets. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'll start here. I want to point out, guys, I was on a stream yesterday night with Out of the Darkness. My man Q. Great stream, great show. We talked about moral depravity. There's some good guests on there. Go check out Out of the Darkness if you haven't yet. It was a fun show. It was a good show, and then it got really weird at the end with a bunch of Christ posting going on live. And you guys know me. I'm very much a Christian man. I am. I submit to the authority of God. However, I don't agree with a lot of what was going on there at the end. I made that very clear, but it was a good stream. You should check it out. I'm not a believer in. I do not believe that Christians have a stranglehold on morality, in the same sense that Christians think that they have a stranglehold on morality. Okay, that's that. But that's a longer topic for another day. All right. Here we go. So this is about Ron. We're going to talk about Ron here. Why is he still upset about those videos being seen by everyone? I thought, well, this isn't about just Ron. It's also about Bedek Martin. Bedek Martin might just actually be a fat woman LARPing as a black man. A fat white woman LARPing as a black male lawyer. A fat white non-lawyer LARPing as a black male lawyer. And that would be the funniest turn of events in this entire thing. Just remember, when you're talking to Bedek Martin on Twitter, and a lot of people do, a lot of people talk to Bedek Martin and they, do what you want to do. It's a waste of your time. You are very likely talking with a titanically large white woman pretending to be a black male lawyer, which is gross and, disgusting or whatever you want to call it. It's mainly sad. So, how large is she? Easily 400 pounds. Easily 400 pounds. And okay, I don't prepare jokes, but I thought of a joke earlier and I'll share it with you. Okay? Can I do that? Can I share a prepared joke with you? Let me get it ready. Here we go. Catherine Tewson wouldn't know what it's like to go hard in the paint unless there was a Black Lives Matter mural painted on the McDonald's drive-thru. I don't know if that joke lands or not, but that's the joke. It might be a bad joke, it might be a funny joke, but it is a fucking fat joke because that chick is goddamn giant. So there you go. It wasn't organically delivered, which probably takes away a little bit, but okay. I'm not a good joke writer. Most of my jokes are just said on the fly when I'm drunk and making fun of people. So 2 out of 10, thank you. I'll take it. 3 out of 10, I think that's overrating the joke. Okay. So yeah, this isn't about Ron, but here's where it starts. He's a small man and an unhinged liar. That's true. Yes. Again, we've got the Pokimane thing. We just go through my Twitter timeline. Did you notice? Look at this thigh gap on fake Pokimane. This is absurd. Pokimane is shaped actually like a box, like a rectangle or a coffin or whatever. There is not actually a thigh gap on Pokimane. I've seen the thighs on her dance videos, and it's pitiful that she's pretending. So anyway, but yeah, so Brittany Venti posted this shit. I said, I think she's overstating the thigh gap a tad. True. Notice what she's done. Pokimane has decided to remove her need to put on makeup for The Sims. Okay, so Cypherus Cypherus is the one who reminded me, because I did forget, he nailed it, that I gave the video to Lord Schmecky. He got it. Thank you, Lord Cypherus. Or, Lord. Shit, I thought that was your name. Thank you, Cypherus, for pointing that out. I forgot that that had happened. I really appreciate that. Here we go. There's only one guest on any deposition stream, Weirdo, and it was only for half of yours. By the way, you should listen to him. He's funny. What's interesting is I don't even know if Schmecky and I got to redacted material. I don't even know if that happened. Like, I don't remember. He's right. I've never rewatched my own deposition streams. I usually don't rewatch streams. Very rarely will I look at them at all, because I've created the thing, it's done, and I'm on to the next thing. So he's right. I've never watched it. But yeah, Ron should listen to Lord Schmecky, Cody Byer as well. He could maybe make himself into a better person. So Luminaire says, Nick, if you were half as good a grifter as you claim, you would get Ron to pay you to transcribe your own shows and send it to him. I'm disappointed in you. I, of course, say stop spoiling my season 2 reveal. Lame joke, but funny. Yeah, Cody here, Lord Schmecky. He pops in and says, can confirm it's the same redacted copy you played on the show. And of course, it's funny because it has to be. I'm notoriously bad at editing. It came to me redacted. This is a weird thing. Let's get into this real quick. Is this it? Where is it? God, this is frustrating. I've got to find the specific thing. Damn it. Oh, here we go. Here's the big brain takes from Bedek. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. This is the arguing with idiots section. If that's not clear, Bedek Martin is a complete fucking idiot, and there's no way around it. There's no sugarcoating it. I'm sorry. R.I.P. his brain. So he asked, "Can you clear something?" Probably a she. I think this is actually a fat white woman. Can you clear something up for me? Had you spoken with Vikmanana prior to creating the GoFundMe? Yes! Obviously, yes! Considering I created the GoFundMe on February of 2019. February 19th of 2019. And I spoke with Vic prior to doing a show about him. I sent him an email. I asked him to come on the show. I invited him. I've covered this 1 billion times. Yes. I reached out to Vic, inviting him onto the panel show, which was like on the 13th. I think it was. So yes. Yes. 1 million times, yes, I spoke to Vic prior to setting up the GoFundMe. I don't know why these people are so fucking brain dead that they can't figure out the basic timeline. It's easy to see. I quote Vic directly on the show with the panel. I said, Vic didn't want to come on the show tonight, but he asked me to share this message. It's on the show. So obviously, I spoke to him before the date, which is right here, because that stream happened prior to the date. Anyway, guys, here, of course, is the GoFundMe. We're at $284,109. Again, I am not shilling heavily on the GoFundMe until appeals are done. That's not how I roll. This is there. You can engage in it if you want. I will tell you, I believe, but I cannot confirm, I do not know, that Vic's legal fees are in excess of this amount right now. I don't know. I don't have the billing information. That is between Vic and Ty. If they want to share it with me, they will. And if they do, I will share it with you. But I believe they are over this amount because we saw how much it cost Ron and Monica, which is actually about this amount already prior to appeals. And they are only going against Vic, not going against 4 different people. So, like I said, that is where we are. And, you know, you can, I'm not pimping it or shilling it because it's just not worth it, but it's mentioned here. So we gotta point it out. Okay. Who made the first contact here? Did Vic reach out to you first? Beddick, you brain dead pile of trash. How in the fuck would Vic reach out to me first? How would that even be possible? Do you think that Vikmanana had randomly heard of a YouTuber who would never talk to before in his life and would reach out to him to, like, what world do you live in? What world is that? And also remember that my channel had about 30,000 subs at this point, at best. At best. No, I sent an email to Vic inviting him on the show. That was the first contact. I've talked about it infinity times. And do you still have confidence in Ty Beard? Yeah, sure. Do you feel bad about suggesting such a shitty lawyer to Vic? No. No. Things didn't go the way that I would hope that they went. Right? The way that I thought they would go. The way I hoped they would go. But that's just life. That's just life. One, I don't think Ty is in any way a shitty lawyer. Did Ty make some tactical decisions that I would not have made? Sure. Did those tactical decisions work out poorly? Seems to. But that's the beauty of hindsight, is you can see what worked, what didn't. You can see where things might have gone wrong. We actually don't know. Chuck's order didn't really clearly state what went wrong, so we have to kind of guess at that. In the same situation, had I known everything I knew at the time, yeah, I would have no problem recommending Ty to Vic. His law firm has handled, this is the funny thing. Well, Ty's never handled a defamation case. Ty's law firm has handled defamation cases before. That's fine. And, you know, there's not just one lawyer working on this case. So I don't know what there, you know, what else there is to say about it. Things didn't go well, obviously, but sometimes things don't go well in court. That's just the way court works. So anyway, yeah, so then Tony the Tiger Girl, great fucking Twitter name. For someone so deeply entrenched in this, it sure seems like you don't know jack shit about the timeline. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Nick called Vic a liar again last week. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever called Vic a liar. Changing the timeline yet again. So I'm asking Nick to go on record here. Clearly set out the events. I've gone on record the record exists. You can go review all of it. The fact that you don't understand that there's a difference in time and in thing between me sending an email to Vic and then Vic reaching out to me at a later date is not my fault. It's yours. He's also clearly distancing himself from the beard. Looks like he's covering his ass, preparing for the shitstorm when the appeal fails. What shitstorm when the appeal fails? Have I hyped the appeal in any way? In any way have I said, oh yeah, this appeal's gonna go great? No, if anything, I'm casting a negative view of the appeal. What shitstorm would there be when the appeal fails? If the appeal fails, it fails. If the appeal succeeds, it succeeds. That's where it is at this point. I can't do anything to change that. Quote, this was all that guy Beard's fault. I don't really know him. He's just some guy the family knows. That's never what I would say, by the way. I will say I've gotten to know Ty a lot better since the Vic case. But I don't think it's all Ty's fault. I think that would be a ridiculous assertion. I think Ty will take all of the blame as lead counsel, but I don't think it's all his fault. But that's not my story to tell either. That's someone else's story to tell. So, didn't he have Ty on his show yesterday? And so, yes, Friday. You should probably not listen to this fat white woman LARPing as a blackmail attorney on Twitter. Fat white women should probably not LARP as blackmail attorneys on Twitter either, but here we are. And then, of course, this, if you want to trigger the law Twitter speds and orbiters that are out there, it's really simple. I'll do it right now. Catherine Tewson is fucking fat. Disgustingly, morbidly fat. It's gross. I've seen less rolls in a Georgia bakery than on that fat woman. There, it's done. That fat fucking lady is their Achilles heel. You call her fat all day. Fat, fat, fat. Just spitting fat facts all day. Fat. Disgusting. Fat. Grossly fat. That's all you have to do. You want to piss these people off? Just point out that that chick is fat and they will lose their goddamn minds. Now notice what I don't actually do is I don't name her. They just, when I say fat white woman, they automatically know. And that is worse. That's even worse. If I could probably be in a completely different thread and be like, that's a fat white lady. And they'd be like, how dare you call Catherine Tewson fat? That should make Catherine Tewson cry. That should make her sad. That's worse than me. Is that when I talk about any fat white lady, they automatically think it's her. That has got to be just like, I can imagine the tubas playing. The tubas play harmony for other tubas because I imagine that's going on. Anyway, just do it. They will come out of the woodwork. Just say fat white woman. And they will fly out to defend. It's like a bunch of seagulls on a desiccated whale carcass. They will swarm around and peck away at anything that they can. So here you go. Look at it. Look at it. Just a ton of them. Just a ton of them. Did I mute that account? Let's see. Here we go. So back to this. This is where I wanted to get to. Yeah, the fail lawyer. Is he talking about T, Greg? Said he was going to depose the fucking meteor. Oh, I guess he's talking about Ty. Seriously, Nick, you know that you're inextricably tied to that drunken moron now, right? Okay. All right. But I'm more interested in the recent revelation that you say Vic reached out to you first before the GoFundMe. Vic and I talked before the GoFundMe. I don't know how this is a thing. Here's the problem. Betic is retarded. Clinically and legally. I don't mean that as an insult. And I apologize to any person with extra or less chromosomes that may be offended by having Betic Martin included among you. I just don't know what other word to use, okay? Again, he thinks that because I reached out to Vic or Vic reached out to me later, that means that Vic asked me to make a GoFundMe, which is never, ever, ever been asserted anywhere. And that is mind-blowing. That is mind-blowing. I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. I don't even know if he responded. Martin isn't her. You are jumping at shadows and it's hilarious. Oh, it's hilarious. It'll be real hilarious when it's not her again. Because remember the last time it wasn't her either. Until it fucking was. Look at this. Not in denial, baby cakes. Get your story straight. Did you create the GoFundMe with or without consent? How is this hard? How is this hard at all? Did Vic contact you first or not? Were you close with Beard, as you have said? I did not say that. Listen, Fatso, you're factually wrong on all of the story. It's not even correctable. Or did you recommend a stranger to Vic? I recommended a lawyer to Vic in his jurisdiction. Whose firm was capable of handling the case. And again, given the same information at the same time, I'd recommend the same lawyer. I didn't tell him to hire Ty. I don't know if these people... This is a funny thing. These are lawyers, allegedly. Benedict Martin is allegedly a lawyer. I mean, I know it's not a lawyer because it's obvious. But you'd think that these people had never recommended an attorney before in their life, never made a referral, or never gotten a referral. Both may be true. All right. We're not going to go through all of this. Let's see. This guy is the weirdest simp on the planet. You're so terrible at insulting someone, Rekieta, that I genuinely feel bad for you when you attempt to do it. Ooh. If I'm so bad at it, why do you come... You guys want a gunt guard. The Tucson gunt guard is a real thing. And they need scaffolding to hold up that fucking weight. Every time I call one of them a fat white woman, without fail, they come running to the responses. I can say a bunch of stuff. Benedict will respond to everything. Benedict will respond to everything I post, everywhere, all over. Like, it doesn't matter what the subject is, Benedict will respond. And most of the time, I completely ignore it. It's fine. I have him muted because who cares? This is just funny. So, Benedict will respond to everything. Most of these people actually won't because they're not that crazy. But the second you say fat white lady, whew, they come, whew, oh man. Oh boy. They come flying. All right. Okay, back to this. I got to get, yeah, just like, this is a response to Benedict, just like your own identity, you have this wrong as well. It's probably hard working with so few brain cells. One day you'll get it. Also, Diet Cokes from now on, Pumpkin. Look at this. Why do I have so many responses to this? They can't take it when you just make a fat joke. Why? They're all fat. All of them. They're fucking fat. And they're... Listen, I know lots of fat people who are... They might want to be skinnier, but they're also just like, okay, I'm fine being fat. Like, I want to be skinnier. I'm working towards it. I'm working towards being in better shape or whatever it is. But I'm also fat. And that's a reality. These people are not okay with being fat. They can't take it. It doesn't matter what else you do. Just call them fat. It's great. It's great. It makes me so happy. So happy. This is a Josh tweet. Oh, this is about the Give It To Me Neil parody. Yes, I will upload it somewhere else if it's not brought back up on YouTube. Okay, that's different. This is T. Greg. This person's like, why am I blocked by this random weirdo? Because they followed me. That's it. That's it. That'll do it. T. Greg is very brave. So there's that. Okay. This was the saddest part of my day. And again, I don't write jokes. So I don't know. Here they are talking about my trust fund, apparently, that I own. I own lots of trust funds. And they're also talking about business stuff. So here we go. We're going to go through this for a little bit. So bear with me on this one, because this is a weird thing, and we'll see all of the dumb that can come out of this. I claimed you made a false dichotomy, which you did. I showed it. I knew he would take the bait. That's why I threw it. You don't have to defend anything other than your own assertions. Master Vui, or whatever, this guy's a fucking idiot too, but that's okay. Notice none of these people use their names ever. They'll talk about bravery and cowardice and blah blah blah, but they won't use their own names, because if they did, they would be lampooned. You always take my bait when I choose to engage you. Every time is ended the same. You try to argue with the premise everyone is against you is pro-Vic. Your arguments fall apart when they aren't. So you're solely pro-Nick, so you choose Nick over Vic. Neither. I'm pro-chaos. I'm on the side that offers the most entertainment. It says, and yet you never pop up when I comment on Vic's page. You only say anything when I'm beating up on Nick. I mean, some people have a high opinion of their own actions. Okay? I'm not saying that everyone needs to use their real name, mind you. I'm not saying that anyone should. Only dumbasses like me should use their real name. However, these people talk about law, and they talk about good and bad lawyers, and they talk about lawyers being competent, and they talk about, but they're talking about law without attaching it to their name. Why? Why? Because they're actually often wrong. They're actually often wrong. And they think that being wrong would devastate them. So anyway, you never pop up when I comment on Vic's page. I'm not a weeb. I don't follow anime, so I don't look at Vic's page. Okay, so here, this is where, if you're not here for the Minana debacle, are you here for the Ethan Ralph side of Nick Rekieta? Notice what's being done here. This is why Bedek is stupid. Bedek is holding me responsible for what Patrick Little said on Ethan Ralph's show. I'm not responsible for what Ralph says on the show. I am, of course, not responsible for what a weirdo like Patrick Little says on Ralph's show. And by the way, Ralph came out and disavowed the statements of Patrick Little. As if he needed to. I don't think you need to disavow the statements of your guests, but he felt the need to for whatever reason. So, who am I responsible for here? I didn't make any of these comments. I've never even talked to Patrick Little. I don't care who Ralph has on the show. I think many of those people are idiots. Anyway, this is a big brain take. Sorry, I figured I should explain. Ralph hates being called the Gunt, which is why he's referred to as such. Gotcha, fuck that Gunt fuck. Ralph, you should focus your ire on this weirdo instead of me. The Gunt's pro-Nazi stances are some of the tamer shit wrong with the guy. Starting to understand why Rekieta is such a fan. Okay. Yes, what you'll notice is a lot of Nazi propaganda on this show. And you can always tell, right? You can always find out really fucking quickly who actually watches the show. Can't speak to people's motives. I just know I would have thrown away real friends for far less, let alone internet friends. Oh, man. Rekieta needs the fan base connection with Ralph, EVS, Tug, all these trash bags. I mean, I guess I need the connection. I don't know. I actually haven't done a statistical breakdown on the overlap of our audiences. So I don't know. What I do know is that there are a bunch of people in my audience who hate Ralph, and there are some people in my audience who like Ralph. I know there's a bunch of people in my audience who like EVS, and some people in my audience who hate EVS. I know there are a bunch of people in my Discord and on the audience who fucking hate Tug, and I know there's a bunch of people in my Discord and audience who like Tug. I don't know. So which one is it? Which one am I reliant on? Can someone tell me? I had Tug on the show the other day, and I hadn't had him on the show in a year. EVS, I haven't had on in, 8 months? Something like that. Ralph has been on my show once ever. I fucking ironically, the day after the kill stream was taken down, and we talked about how deplatforming was bullshit. The one and only time Ralph has ever come on my show. Ever. But I guess I need the kill stream audience or something. I guess I need the Tug audience. I mean, I like Tug. I like Ralph. I like EVS. They're fine. They don't have much impact on my day-to-day lives. But notice what's happening here. This is the trick. Do you notice something? I hope people are putting this together. I hope people are putting this together. What does a lawyer, an alleged lawyer in Texas who's black, have any concern over Ralph, EVS, or Tug? What does Law Twitter have anything to do with Ralph, EVS, or Tug? Oh, wait a minute. It's almost like Martin Bedick isn't a lawyer, but is an orbiter of internet drama. Oh, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Martin Bedick is just another basic bitch of the internet who has no actual legal experience, is not a lawyer, has nothing to do with it. It's just someone probably pissed off about Comicsgate. And that is the saddest realization I've had in a long time. But that's how fucking pathetic Martin Bedick is. Damn. This is kind of how YouTube career game is played. It was much better before there was monetizing on the platform. Then it was a hobby or to troll people. Whatever. This is Nick's last chance. He's a 40-year-old, 38, thank you, who has failed at like 6 different careers at this point. I didn't fail at the careers. I moved to the country where those careers don't work, but okay. Most recently, law. I didn't fail at law. It's fine. You could still be doing legal work. It's more fun to drink whiskey and tell jokes. I don't know if people know that. It's a lot more fun to do whiskey and jokes than it is to go to a courthouse and deal with criminals all day. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but as a criminal defense attorney, I'm not a fan of drunk drivers, for example, because I have kids and I drive. And so I don't do usually DWI defense because I would prefer that people who drive drunk don't drive ever. That would be my preference. So like the whole idea about this, like, but I live in a small town. If you do criminal defense, you're probably going to do DWI cases. I don't like to do those. I don't like to at all. So it kind of cuts off the market a little bit. So I prefer to just drink whiskey and not defend people who drive drunk. Because I don't drive when I drink whiskey. Anyway, I'm reasonably sure at this point that he will sell his own mother down the river to keep the clicks flowing. You know, I don't know that my mom wouldn't take a fucking life raft down the river and just enjoy it. She likes the water. I'll ask her. I thought the going narrative was he was a trust fund baby. Totally. I just don't think that fund has much in it. How much is in it? What is much? What is it? How much money do I have in a trust fund that you don't know anything about? Because I'll tell you, they talk about a trust fund that would be created by my grandfather's will. You guys have seen the will, maybe not. I don't know. It was distributed quite a bit on the internet by a law student who thought he was cool. Remember, everybody's against doxing until they don't like the person or whatever. But my grandfather's will was sent out on the internet by Alan Rawls, a law student. And the accusation was that because the will allowed for a spillover trust to be created in the event that there was extra money left over in the state, that I was a trust fund baby, which is weird because my grandfather died when I was like 32. That I was a trust fund. No, wait. After that, 35, 34, 35 years old. Because, yeah, he was at my law school graduation, guys. If I was a trust fund baby, I was a fucking old baby. Anyway, there's an allegation that I have this fund because these people are not estate attorneys. They're not estate attorneys. So they can't actually read what's going on in a will. And when an estate attorney who was friendly to them tried to tell them what was in there, they jumped down his damn throat. And so he stopped. I'm sorry, fat Florida estate attorney. I'm really sorry about that your internet friends are such fucking cunts that they just couldn't let you tell them, like, oh, actually, we don't know anything about this. I'm sorry that they're all pretend. I'm sorry. It's not my fault at all, but I will take that for you so you feel better about the people that you hang around with or whatever. That shit all over you for no reason when you actually did a really good breakdown of the will. But here's the thing. For a spillover trust to occur, you have to have an excess amount of the estate. But the way that estate was written so that my grandmother, if she followed my grandfather in death, by, the legally required amount in Texas, which is probably like 90 days, and she did by several years, is that the money would actually go to her, not into a spillover trust. See, to have a spillover trust, you have to have spillover assets. Well, if all assets end up going to a spouse, other than a specific amount for estate tax purposes that went to children, not grandchildren, for example, if you have that, then you don't actually have a spillover trust that's created. It's a contingently created trust, and the contingent conditions have to actually predate the creation of the trust. I know that you're a lawyer, so you should know this. It's really basic estate planning. But you have to have those contingencies take place before you can create a trust. And they didn't. Which, here's a weird thing. You don't even need inside information about my family to know this. All you have to know, which they did, was that my grandmother was still alive. And so if you just read the prior provisions of the trust account, of the will, I'm sorry. If you read the prior provisions of the will, you would find out that all of it was going to go to her. And if you are an estate attorney, you would realize why that's important. If you're not a lawyer at all, like Beddick Martin, for example, you probably have no fucking idea. So they think they're brilliant, but they're really dumb. So no, there was not a trust account created by my grandfather's death that I somehow have access to through Ty Beard. At least not one that I've ever heard of or gotten money from. And if there is, I'm gonna fucking kill Ty. Okay. I'm sure he gets some help, at least enough to support him when he repeatedly shifts careers. Oh my goodness. And I'm sure that money buys a lot in backwoods Minnesota, but he still needs a job. Do I? Yeah, I do. I still need a job. Because all of your accusations about my financial situation are incorrect. All of them, though. Only all of them. It's fine. Yes, I need a job to support my family. And I work really fucking hard at it. I can only speak from my own experiences. I do not need my career for financial security, but I don't know what I'd do without it. So in a way, I do need it. Fuck that noise. You give me $1 billion, I'm on a beach tomorrow. I can do pro bono work from there. Oh, Fatso, you're not doing pro bono work from anywhere. I see many people say that. I also see many people die very shortly after they retire, no matter their age, blah, 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 blah. So with that $1 billion, I can post up in a yacht in the Solomon Islands and run a non-profit from there. The 9 to 5 doesn't give you purpose. If so, it's the wrong purpose. This is a person who probably doesn't even have a 9 to 5 job. Nine to 5 is torture. Work on my own schedule and submit plans. Only I approve, so any headache is my own doing. But sitting around wasting away is extremely detrimental. Now, here, sorry, all of that for this, and the sad responses follow. But Beddick beaching would lower sea levels by 1 inch globally. I hope people get this. That's a fucking fat joke. That's a fat joke. You want to see how truly bereft of intelligence Beddick is? Here we go. Look at this. Can't take it. Can't take being called fat. Wait, am I currently in the ocean? You're a whale, dumbass. What are you reaching for here? Nothing. There's no reach involved. Beaching is a specific activity to a specific species that's too fucking fat to get back in the goddamn water when they beach. I'm fat and currently in the ocean, so if I go to beach, the ocean will be lower because I displace so much. Nailed it! Do you think that a fat person on a beach somehow lowers the water? Does this person not realize? Like, they don't get the joke about water displacement. Like, they're not getting it. You're that fat. You are that fat. You fatso. Ugh, this is just a mess. Maybe you mean Bedic swimming? If I'm on the beach, I'm necessarily out of the water. Yes! That's why the levels will go down. Because you're so fat that when you're in the water, they go up. Fat. Fat. They can't take it. I'm telling you guys, all you have to say to ruin these people's entire day is just fat woman. You don't even have to call her white at this point. Just say fat woman. Fat woman. That's it. Anytime you say it, fat woman, they will lose their minds. They don't know what to do. If I'm on a beach, I'm necessarily out of the water. I swear to God, you can't do anything right. Maybe it's the gravitational pull of your immense white thighs. I mean, the going narrative is you're a blubberous white woman LARPing as a small black lawyer. But the water's going down, so my being at the beach makes the waters recede. Maybe the water's afraid of my girth? Nope. It's just displacement. A simple physical principle. Which, here we go. Cesspool says it would buy us a few years of melting ice caps. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that she didn't get the beach whale joke. Thought it was obvious. Look! Look! Anytime I get ratioed, anytime, every time, it's because I call a law Twitter woman fat. Every time. Every single time. It doesn't matter. You go find any post of mine that is at all ratioed, and it's always barely, whatever. Go find any of them. It will be because I called a woman in law Twitter fat. 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 I haven't even read the responses. I'm not going to. Fat. All right. That's it. I don't really need to go on a into anything else. I stopped at that point. I guess I shouldn't be surprised she didn't get the beach whale joke. Thought it was obvious. It was the most obvious joke I can think of. But anyway, I didn't engage after that, and I engaged pretty limited. Bedic Martin actually alleged the other day that one of my mods, I think it was Bedic, that one of my mods went in and muted people for me. No, absolutely not. No one has my Twitter account access but me. And in no way would I allow someone to mute someone for me. Let me be very clear. I muted certain people, Catherine Tooson, Bedic Martin, probably a few others, for a very specific reason. Twitter has a fat jokes per day limit. And if I am left unchecked by myself, I will make too many fat jokes for Twitter. That's it. I will say, dear Christ, I'm going to put 8 hamburgers in front of that treadmill so you can lose weight, because 7 would be a snack for you, not a meal. I will say that over and over and over again. I don't block people, but I will mute them just to prevent me from saying, you are fucking fat, to a couple people over and over and over again. So, no. Why would I have someone else do that? That's weird. That's weird. Think they're baiting for insults to report my tweets and get me suspended? Oh, I'm sure they are, but it's okay. They're fat. So even if I get suspended, they'll still be fat. Felipe Mouve says, I hate those nobodies insulting Ty. He is a partner on his firm and he is rich, I think. I don't know if Ty's rich or not. His house is very nice. I've been there. Ty is not just a partner on his firm. He's the senior partner and the founding partner of his firm. Success should be respected every time. Hashtag Ty for the win. Yeah, Ty's great. Ty's great. You can, and to be very, very clear and definitive on this, I'm not pissed at Ty, but I understand why some people are. And I hold no grudges against people who are mad at Ty and how he handled the case. I will caution and say simply, that it's really easy to look back on how a case went and determine things were done poorly or whatever. In fact, it's what law YouTubers do. We all look at cases and say things that we wouldn't have done. But here's the thing. This is the dark secret of all of us. Viva Frey, Barnes, Uncivil Law, Leonard French. 99.99% of the time, we're telling you what we wouldn't have done after the bad thing was already done. Because we weren't the one with the opportunity to do it. That's a real easy thing. It's really easy for us to do. We go in and we can criticize someone, especially when we know the outcome. We can really criticize someone. But even when we don't, you just say, I wouldn't have done this. That's a weird thing. Oh, I don't like that. I would have done this. And we have zero consequences for it. And that's why I try not to, in general, do that shit. Except when it's really obvious, like Keemstar versus Romeo Lacoste, right? Really obvious to say, look, if you say that you're a pedophile in your document and you're suing someone because they called you a pedophile, well, I mean, that's a bad choice. That's a bad move. So we can criticize Raul Severo on that. But other than that, you know, we're throwing darts at the biggest dartboard on the planet. That's what YouTube is, by the way. That even applies to other things like PR. Of course we wouldn't have marketed Netflix's Cuties that way because it did really shitty things for the show. It seems really obvious at the time. Seems really obvious to us now. But some Netflix exec, and by the way, FBI, research this person and then probably bring a whole lot of mustard gas with you. But some exec was like, no, this is the trailer I want. And they're a professional PR person. Like that's their, they did an assessment of it and said, this will go fine. They were vastly wrong. It's really easy for us to say it's wrong. But that's how the internet works, man. We get to call out wrong shit all the time with no consequences. Remember that always. Remember that with me. Remember that with everybody else. We're sideline quarterbacking here, and it's really easy to do that. It's hard when people are coming at you and trying to knock you down. Yeah, Nico Mode, I know. The movie is apparently worse than the trailer. I know. We talked about it earlier. Okay. Spigot 84 says, in Lemon's voice, sing the Weird Al song, I'm fat. You know I'm fat. You know it. How does it go? Don't you call me pudgy, portly, or stout, because I'll tell you once again who's fat. Da 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 da. There you go. You know I'm fat. I'm huge. You know it. Come on. Okay. All right. I gotta say this. This is probably because I'm drunk. But it's okay. That's fine. So Dame Pesos 2 hours ago. More breaking news. The war between Ralph and everyone continues as Ralph is going after lawyer Nick Rekieta. Will Nick get his own tailor-made sex tape? I hope so. Cha 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 cha. I hope that's an okay. I hope that's an okay Dame impression. And then Ralph says, oh no, the walking soundboard is something to say. Oh wait, he's snaking on his friends again, not a surprise. I would say you have to go back, but stay in the third world shithole you're already in. That's actually kind of funny from Ralph. That's pretty funny. Anyway, I just saw that. I thought I'd share it with you guys. Cha 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 cha. Oh, guys, why are we all fighting? It's such a dumb thing to fight with people you like on the internet. Oh. So dumb. I hate fighting with my friends. I hate when my friends are fighting. And guys, I'm a friendly motherfucker. I'm a friendly asshole. I'll be friends with you. You send me a message insulting me on Twitter, I'll probably respond like, "Hey, that's weird, but hey, you know what? Let's just talk cuz I don't understand fighting everybody. I really don't. It's such a weird fucking thing. I don't care. Ron's my friend? Sure. Ron's a dumb little manlet weirdo wife abuser. Would I have a drink with him? Probably. Probably. We could identify on him being short and me being tall. We could identify on all sorts of stuff. We talk about how silly this whole like internet situation is. Guys, I can't tell you enough. I am like the most laid back person there is. I don't know why people get mad at me. I am nice. Fat! Sorry. That was probably too loud for your headphones. That's probably too loud for your headphones, and I apologize. Okay. Okay. Play the tweet I sent you, please. It's perfect. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta find you. I gotta find you. Which tweet did you send me? I don't even see it. I see a lot of other stuff. Not that. Okay. Anyway, this is too much. This is too much. We're gonna... I was supposed to do the shooting in Pennsylvania, but it's already 2 and I haven't done super chats. God damn it. Aquarius. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but if you want to send it in DM, go ahead and send it. That'd be great. Look, one last thing. This is important. Jim. I will pray for you, my friend. I'm the worst Christian on the planet. I don't know if my prayers have any of that sweet Jesus mojo, but I heard you have the real cancer, not the internet cancer. And I will pray for you, buddy. And I would buy you a bunch of whiskey but I feel like showing up at your house would be weird and gay. But Jim, if you ever want to get a real life drink before you fucking die from cancer and pharmaceutical companies, please let me know. I'd love to chat. You seem like a cool dude. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, someone said bring camels too. That reminds me, in a completely unrelated. Thank you. I need to talk to Camelot. Do you guys remember Camelot? He's a GameStop employee guy. That guy's funny as hell. I need to have him on another show. We need to just sit back and laugh at all the shit that's going on in the world. Remember the simpler times when it was just like, hey, when it was just like, here, I'll be Camelot. Hey man, GameStop's pretty fucking gay. Like that's it, right? Like that was it. GameStop was being stupid at Camelot. He's hilarious. I like him. I gotta send him an email. See how he's doing. Nick, rate the whiskey from 1 to 10. This is easily a 9. Easily a 9. It's good. I really, really enjoy it, Felipe. Thank you. Diamond Dog, I already said I'm going to send Kendra an email. Okay. Let's do this. If Jim drank more whiskey, he wouldn't have cancer. All right, guys. I'm going to take the shooting in Pennsylvania out. This is 2 minutes long? Let's see. All right, guys, we're going to take a peek at this. This is from Spicurious. Let's take a peek. It says the only person who would have handled this situation as well as Tucker Carlson is Bill Murray. How do you get that cool? I don't know what situation they're talking about. What did Tucker do?
How you doing?
Great.
Oh, this is
you can fish here.
This is Tucker.
Huh?
What's that? What's that?
It's called a video camera.
Oh,
I didn't know you could fish here.
you can?
You can?
Yeah.
What are you fishing for?
Are you videotaping me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're in public. I can.
Well, I know you can.
Okay.
I'm not challenging your right. I just
Okay.
want to know why you
I
are.
find it interesting that you're fishing in Central Park.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely allowed.
Okay.
It's allowed in 3 ponds. It's allowed in the pond.
I've never seen anybody fish here before. I videotaped that, which I find interesting and unique about the city of New York.
Well, it's a good thing. Yeah, you can. You can go right on the Central Park website, and it'll tell you you can fish in the mirror.
Yeah, no, I'm not challenging the fact that you can. I'm just curious. I've never seen anybody fishing.
It's not very good fishing, and there are too many people around.
What kind of fish are there?
There are largemouth bass.
In this thing here?
Yep.
Bass.
And what do you use for bait?
I fly fish, so I use flies.
Do you catch the flies yourself?
No, flies are... I'll show you.
Oh, those are the things you make.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, the string. I'm stupid. I don't fly fish.
It's all right. Most people
I'm
don't.
stupid might be right.
I've been like deep, seawater, deep sea fishing on party boats. And
Have
such.
you really
French
been
boats.
deep sea fishing on a party boat?
Oh, okay.
See, and you tie them.
Yeah. You
And-
tie your own flies?
I do, yeah.
You do? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in California.
Yeah, you did a lot of fly fishing out there?
Not really,
No?
but I learned in later life, and it's a great pleasure and a great sport.
It's like relaxing, right?
Very. And,
You live in New York now?
No. Well, I do live here part-time, actually.
Okay.
I can tell by your manner that you're from New York.
Get the hell out of here. Is it my accent?
It's everything about you, I would say. So when you videotape people, and I don't mind,
Right.
but I bet you some people do.
Yeah, they assault me sometimes.
Is that true?
Yeah. It makes for good video, though.
What do you do with the video?
I put it up on my channel. I have a lot of people that follow me.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's great.
There you go. Yeah, Tucker's like super nice. Okay, there we go. I don't know what the point of that was, but that's Tucker. What a gem of an individual. Good guy, Tucker. Good guy, Tucker. All right, we're going to go through. I'm going to take the shooting in Pennsylvania off the title. We'll do that tomorrow probably. And then we'll you know, we're going to have more stuff tomorrow. We have more stuff tomorrow. So now I want to bother Tucker and have a nice little chat. Tucker, that was a bad interaction. You shouldn't have done that. Now you're going to be accosted everywhere you go. I'll do the PA shooting tomorrow. Maybe there will be enough information about the Tennessee shooting tomorrow as well. One of my evil associates who I rely on, that umbrella guy. He says one of his neighbors was shot. I think that's ridiculous. How do you shoot the neighbor of a prince of Saiyan? Anyway, Tug says one of his neighbors was shot or something. So yeah, I'll be checking into that. Shit's going weird, man. Move out to the country. Move out to the country. Move as far away. And I mean the country without an O in it. Move out to the country as far away from these cities as possible. It's ridiculous. Move away. Find something else. It's not worth it. It's not worth whatever you're doing in the city. You can live cheaper in the country. And little cities, actually, little towns want you to move there, and they will pay you. They'll pay you to work there. Move away. Move away. Get out to the real states. Get out to the real country as fast as you fucking can. Everybody can work remotely now anyway. That's all. Thank you, COVID. COVID ruined the corporate lie that you have to go into an office to do anything. Everybody can work remotely. Google and Microsoft, they have their little Google Meet and Teams and all that shit and Zoom. It's all fucking fake. It's all a lie. The lie of school's been exposed. Lie of everything's exposed. Nobody has to ever leave their house unless they want to. Ever. Ever. It's all a lie. And it's been exposed and it's going away. We'll all be working remotely very soon. Move to the country. Eat a lot of peaches. All right. Let's do these chats. Crusader Saracen says the Lancaster, Pennsylvania district attorney is hitting arrested rioters with maximum charges. And the local judge set bail at $1 million each. Ouch. Good. Good. Fuck rioting. Mercenary X says, speaking of shootings, did you hear what happened to poor Tug? Umbrella Guy's neighbors were killed today or yesterday. 3 people dead and police all over the area. Pray for the families. Enter the guy who's transcribing the stream. Hi, want a chili recipe? Mercenary X says, speaking of cancel culture, the British Ear on YouTube said that everyone wanting to stop the Cuties movie from existing is giving into cancel culture and needs to stop. I sort of agree. No, they're actually, it depends on how you do it. Saying, I don't like this, I'm not going to buy it, is not the same as saying, Netflix needs to cancel Cuties, or PayPal needs to cancel Netflix, or whatever it is. That's the difference. It's, I will stop doing X versus someone else needs to break a contract with X. That's way different. But unfortunately, if he sees any clips of Cuties, it will change his mind. I don't know anything about British Ear, but it's okay. It is okay to stop buying something you don't like. That's fine. That's not cancel culture. And it's not even boycotting. Boycotting is organizing a bunch of people to do the same. If you just say, look, I'm not into this, I don't like it, I'm done. Peace. That's fine. Do it. Do it all day. The Coke Master. With regards to Cuties, do you think a court will find it to be legally child porn? No. No, of course not. If so, not in the US. If so, does that make everyone who's posted clips of it on Twitter or watched the film on Netflix legally liable? No. Is everyone talking about it on Twitter going to jail? No. First of all, I don't think it's child porn. I think it's degenerate. I think it's sexualizing children. I think it's exploiting children. I think it's awful. I don't think it should exist. However, it's not child porn. Very, very different. In fact, I believe even one of the more controversial things I've heard is a girl exposing her breast. Not one of the main girls, but a girl who's supposed to be a year or two older. But I've heard some clarification on that there's no nipple exposed. And for some weird reason, our society determines that the nipple itself is the exposure of the breast, and that without a nipple, breasts are fine. I don't know, but that's the way it's kind of worded. So, I can't see how it would be child pornography. I just think it's disgusting. Joel Miller says you're inviting PPP on. Might as well be inviting Abby by. Actually, you think you could bring Abby on? You know, that lovely girl with arms? No, not arms girl or whatever. The other arms girl. Tommy and I got words. Ominous kachak noises. No, I think having PPP on will be a good show, because I think we'll be in a place to have a good discussion. And that's always the trick with things. Being in a place to have a good discussion. Malik Foxton says Chair Coon's on his way out. New chair Nick's looking at is probably Chair Chan. She's younger with smoother skin and softer lap. She's probably also thick AF. Kind of hard not to have wandering eyes if Chair Coon's not delivering. Look, skin's a little wrinkly and cracking. I don't know what to do. I'm young. I got an income. Take Chair Chan to nice places. Fire nice things. Bad Dragonite says, just found out from Mr. Rex. Hell and D&D has court-appointed lawyers for you if you have a grievance or dispute on a contract you make with the devil. Just thought I'd share. I love that guy. My oldest son and I, we listen to Mr. Rex videos when I drive him into his activities, because it's about 15 minutes. Perfect amount of time. We listened to Displacer Beasts today on the way to his stuff. Great video. Guys, check out Mr. Rex's channel if you like D&D at all. He's great. Even though he pronounces words very funny because English is his second language. Darren Jack says, Tucson put the ass in massive. Silky Johnson, one of my favorite named Streamlabs chatter, says, I wouldn't say she's fat. She's got so many double chins she needs a bookmark to find her pearls. I wouldn't say she's fat, but when she walks across the room, my Spotify skips. She's so fat when she wears a red shirt, all the kids scream, hey, Kool-Aid. Edris Rex says, maybe at Netflix, the P in PR stands for pedophile, and their exec did exactly what they were supposed to, enticing pedophiles to watch the movie. Maybe. Bad Dragonite says, Ralph is probably just mad because of all your fat jokes. Aw, that was mean. I think Ralph was having a bad day. I think Ralph was in some shit. People have been beating down on Ralph for 2 months now, 3 months, something like that. And I bet he's just tired of it. And, you know, it sucks. It sucks when someone lashes out at you, but at the end of the day, like, someone says some shit about me, I don't care that much. I'm going to make fun of it or monetize it or talk about it because people want to hear about that stuff. And that's fine. But, like, is it going to ruin my life? No, it's fine. Cynic in Chief says, John Mundane Kelly is an admitted false flagger. Gross. Reek says, evening, Nick. Painting some Death Guard while you talk about Ron, and while we're on the subject of fat, discussing blobs and Nurgle. Which one would win in a bikini contest? Nurgle. Nurgle wins all the bikini contests. By the way, guys, if you like painting miniatures and you like nerd shit and you like funny stuff, Az and I will be doing a stream on Friday, the 18th. We will be, I think, Friday's the 18th. During the daytime, I'm not sure whose channel we're going to be on. Az, Heel versus Babyface, and I will be doing a stream. We'll be painting, we'll be talking, we'll be joking and having a good time. Come hang out with us. Angry Baneling says, never going to stop trying to deplatform your haircut. Oh, I read that one. Spoder Fox 9, thank you for the donation. Ranosaurus Rex says, how long till we get Cecil as a guest? Did Cecil and I do a drinking show? We talked about doing one. I like that guy just fine. That'd be a good show. Sod off us illy git. Sod off you silly git. Oh, okay. I think Drexel will be back near the end of the week. Just letting you know. Sod off you silly git says, unrelated to any of the topics tonight, just curious about your thoughts on the ERA, how strict scrutiny wouldn't benefit feminists. The Equal Rights Act, and how strict scrutiny wouldn't benefit feminists. It doesn't benefit feminists because feminists aren't about equal rights. Feminists are about pro-women rights. Strict scrutiny requires equality. So, the Equal Rights Act, I don't have a lot of thoughts on it unless I sit and think about it and look at it. But feminism isn't about equality. It isn't about equal rights. It's about having special rights, extra privileges, and better treatment. Literally everyone says, recently gotten into 40K, listened to about 30 hours of audiobooks in the past week, but never played a game. Should I get out now? Feels like a money sink. Dude, I have been a fan of 40K without ever playing a game. Enjoy the lore. Listen to the books. Playing the game, if you want to, you can. It's fun. I would recommend this. A kill team in 40K will cost you about like $50. Play kill team if you're going to play at all to start. And if you like that and you want to dump money into it, go do it. But listen to the books or read the books. That is entirely separate from the game. You don't ever have to play to be fulfilled on it. Zero BP, I've never played the full game. Only played Kill Team. Stephen Kretz, many publications are going the director of color route to defend the movie. Thoughts? That's why they picked the chick. The main focus behind it seems to be a white guy, a white Frenchman who wants to push these kind of stories. Go look into that. Ramblin' Man TV says, hey, Nick, got a new channel and would love to get the master grifter himself to give a little shout out for non-woke based D&D and gaming. It's Ramblin' Man TV on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks, Nick. Hey, you're welcome. Guys, check out Ramblin' Man TV on YouTube and Twitch for non-woke, fully based D&D and gaming. There you go. Ben Frail says, did you see Tug's Tennessee neighbor was killed in a carjacking? Yes, I did. DCV Titan says, our truth is miles different from the truth. Yes. DCV Titan also says, show idea, go over the deposition videos again and comment on them with what we've learned since their first airing. That's a fucking good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Was always drunk, says Ralph banned me, so here's his money. LMAO. God, I hate seeing this shit. I hate it, but I'll take it. Thank you. Juro says, Ron just doesn't recall posting the videos. As Cybertast says, in Ron's life, hashtag Black Bulls matter. Death Trout says, can you really unman someone like Ron? Seems you would have to be a man first. Damn. DCV Titan says, Miracle Max, I'll call the Sim Squad. Ron, I'm on the Sim Squad. Miracle Max, you are the Sim Squad. Flying French Bread says, you know Ron has to be fondling a remote while staring at a picture of you, Ty, and Vic, thinking to himself, I want to smack them so bad. Yeah, that's actually the worst part about having that picture of me, Vic, and Ty out there is I think Ron might be pleasuring himself to it. I have a feeling there's a nice waterproofed laminated copy of it in a jar with a My Little Pony and a bunch of questionable liquids. Death Trout says Chergoon deserves a Viking funeral. You Call Me Al says you should auction off Chergoon and use the funds for something. John Doe says Chergoon needs a new home or restoration. There is no restoring Chergoon. Death Trout says sell Chergoon to Ron. He'll love sniffing the seat while pleasuring himself. Wendell 2020 says, hi, Nick. Accidentally sent you an extra 20, but here's another because you're great. I know I keep asking, but please reach out to Nux Taiku. It would be Taku. It would be so cool to have him on your show. It would be awesome. I'd love to. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if you guys know this. I like talking to people. So I'm down to invite all sorts of people on the show. It's always a matter of getting a hold of them. That's it. Angry Baneling says, I downed half a glass of this and it burned my throat. He's talking about this Amrit high gravity whiskey. Mom found out and made Dad throw it away. I still feel bad about that. It was gifted to my dad. Oh, man. Sheepsidian says, I'd hentai Pokimane before I'd hit it. Asia Fraser says in Lemon's voice, you're fat. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because you'll eat that too. Damn. Savage. Hewson says, so fat she ate extra chromosomes. No. Stop it. That's where all the abortions are going. Stop. Wendell 2020 says, Nick, don't waste your time on these weirdos. They're not worth it. I usually ignore them. Today I was feeling a little chipper, so I jumped in. Jen GM says, 6 thumbs down once you mention fat. Seems something a fat person would do, which they are. Satanic Potato. Listen, guys, if you don't know me by now, I'm going to make fat jokes. I'm going to make skinny jokes. I'm going to make jokes about everything. I'm going to make jokes about everybody. Self-included. It's not about whether or not you're fat. That's not it. It's about whether or not fat jokes bother you. That's what it's about. If you ever tell a troll that something bothers you, they're going to do it over and over and over again. I know plenty of fat people. I can count plenty of fat people only on my thumbs, though, because fingers aren't thick enough to count them. But I can use thumbs over and over and over again to count lots of fat friends that I have. It's not about that. It's about being who you are, being okay with who you are, even when you want that person to change. I'm a skinny piece of shit. And I'm fat, but I'm fat in my stomach. I would love to be more muscular, and I work on diet and exercise to try and do those things. They take a shitload of time and effort, but that's okay. I am who I am, and I'm fine with that, and you should be fine with it too, even if you want to improve. Be less fat. Okay, there we go. Satanic Potato says, on Ralph, you don't need to like someone to watch their content. I watched the Ralph Retort to get another perspective on the news. I listen to everybody. I don't listen to just about anybody because I told you, like, I listen to Mr. Rex and his videos on occasion. I'm driving my kid around. I don't consume a ton of YouTube content anymore. I'm busy. I don't have the time to do it. I wish I did. It was easier to just listen and watch hours of streams. But the time that I would be listening to like long YouTube content, I'm now making it. So I don't have as much. Joshua Vidrine says, on D&D court, my favorite one I have been in was some limbo court where my friends and I had to fake being an NPC's attorney team. It turned into a bloodbath when I tried to kill the judge with holy water. Is this IRL accurate? Yeah, if you throw holy water at the judge, he will melt and the bailiff will shoot you. That's it. No go. No, I've not watched that Norm Macdonald, but I know what I'm going to watch. Norm's great. I like Norm Macdonald, love Don Rickles. Insult comedy is fun. It's fun if you don't take yourself so seriously. Mandy Caravicius. I just came home from work and made some hamburger helper stroganoff with Parmesan cheese and toasted garlic bread. Manischewitz red wine. Want some? Yes! Oh my God. I've got to buy all my food from the Mexicans in town because they make good tacos. I can't make any food. I don't have a kitchen. I was supposed to do a bunch of cooking streams this week or this month, and I can't. I don't have a kitchen. I'm gonna probably do a grilling one this week though. Jen GM says Martina Fatic. Martin Beddick. There we go. The Shady Man says, hey, Nick, Vic's got a court date coming up, right? 25th or something? No. On the 22nd, they will take his case under advisement. And it could be any day after that they rule, but there's not an actual case. Are you doing a collab, or not an actual court date? Are you doing a collab stream? Yellow Flash, Hero, Hey Tugger, anyone else on it? I don't have one planned because there's nothing to really cover. It's the same stuff. That's the date they start considering the appeal. Jason Cook says YouTube isn't the biggest dartboard on the planet. Beddick is. Crash Jester says law Twitter is filled with glow-in-the-dark Karens who think you lost the case again. # free real estate. No one important says, I hope you found that Shimonetta clip I DM'd you entertaining. It's of Rial moaning about her love nectar placed on cookies eaten by the main character. Oh, God. Marique Royal says, good stream tonight. Today, I get to find out if I still have a job as my work is being audited. This location has 2 strikes due to bad past managers. Oh, I hope you have a job in the morning. Damn. Nick's Hex says, I worked in LA and we have a branch in Dallas. We have only become more productive since COVID now that the 2 are working together on the same projects because why wouldn't we? Wendell 2020, thank you for the 20 that you sent on accident without a message. Phoenix Lord Asserman says Ralph invited it. If he didn't want all this, he wouldn't have picked a fight with the farms. That might be true. It might be true. I try not to pick fights in general. I'm a nice boy. I'm a good boy. And Cole Kiddo says, hey, Nick, I was the guy commenting about being blocked by Doucette. I signed up for Twitter just to follow Vic's con schedule, but I've realized it's full of mentally ill people who keep trying to cancel everyone. I have regrets. Hey, buddy. It's because you followed me. If you followed me, Doucette blockchained everybody who follows my accounts. Sorry. Nothing I can do about it. He's a fat, bald loser, and that's just who he is. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'm going to play the outro. And then we'll do a short movie on Twitch. I'm going to pick it. It'll be 80s and ridiculous. It might be Escape 2000. That's what we're going to do. Because I've wanted to watch that movie forever. Escape 2000, I think, is either Escape 2000 or Escape 3000. Fuck. Let me find it real quick. So people can start downloading it. So people can otherwise procure a legal way to watch it. If they don't have Amazon Prime. Escape 2000 is the video. In England, I think it was known as Turkey Shoot. So that's the movie we're going to watch. It is 1 hour and 18 minutes. It's perfect length because I have to be up early tomorrow. So there's that. All right. Bad Dragonite says, I read somewhere that if your fat jiggles a certain way, it's just water weight. That feeling when you poke your belly and cause a tsunami. Zyver Warrior says, Catherine Tewson is great at riots. A large shield. Damn. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. I hope you enjoy the outro and come visit me on Twitch. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitter and Erland. From the hills of Glenlivet. There's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a bow, more of love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed